Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. Sean Driver, the Red Horde, and Charlton Athletic. It is October 26th, and we're into it. If you have the stream up on iFollow, even if you don't and you have access to it, when you replay this one back, please stop during the pregame and do the circle thing where they were playing Super Freak on the tannoy and had all the boys in the circle stretching with those rubber bands on, because they were to the beat, completely, I'm sure, unintentional. But it was that was my morning comedy. I've got my coffee. To everybody who's here, I see Dave and Deandra and Mertland and W&G. Jason, you're there. Brendan, who's always with me. Brendan, how the heck are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, you can see how I am. The packing is it goes on in earnest. The housing renovations are underway, and I am finding time to sneak this one in. And life is good. Lots to talk about in this one. We've got what do you call them? The hired hitmen. I don't know what you want to call Bodferson and Matty James coming in, signing due to injury. We've got Parkey's return to Charlton. We're probably not so loved so much. We've got Birmingham and Mansfield drawing. So there goes the strategy. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's a lot here. Do you want to do the players first?
Yeah, let's start at the very beginning. A little bit of Sound of Music reference now that I got music stuck in my head. And Deandra, the moving ends December. Well, doesn't end. We move in November 8th, and we'll start unpacking November 9th. And I've got a 4:30 in the morning game that day that I've got to somehow strategize and arrange. It may be. I suspect my body won't let me wake up, and Brendan's already been forewarned about that one. Of all the things I have, I don't have our lineup, but I do recall most of it off the top of my head. The only big surprise, so Ogonkwo is going to be starting in net, of course. Max is back, which is good news. And because he's back, he gives Brendan, you get the shout out for this one, because this was your prediction that when they come back, EOC probably needs a spell. He's getting it. And Dan Scar and Tom O'Connor. Any surprises for you as far as the four in the back, including Ogonkwo?
No, not at all. I mean, that's exactly what I expected. We were talking. We think the Rathbone thing is some combination of Cannon still being a little sore from last week, and giving Rathbone a few games in a row makes sense.
And Barney.
There's the stuff on the bench. Seeing James on the bench after the early signing is interesting.
Yeah, so just to run through, on the wings, you've got Ryan Barnett and James McLean, which is par for the course. In the middle, you've got I've hinted that this was going to look like the away lineup. Like if I would look to see Dobson and either Evans when he was healthy or Rathbone away with Elliott Lee. And then when they come back home, you look to put Cannon out there as the offensive pop that you can kind of get away with a little bit more at home. I think this is less that strategy and more Cannon still a little bit dinged up, but we will see. Mullen and Palmer up front, and then it gets interesting on the bench. Burton on the bench. O'Connell doesn't get the entire day off. He's got to be prepared at least to come in. Bolton shows up on the bench, and I can't remember him being on the bench for a league game yet this season. I know he hasn't played any minutes.
No, he's been in one of the last two. He was definitely on the bench.
Okay,
which surprised me because I thought they were just done with him. But
yeah, and I've always liked Bolton, right or wrong. And so I mean, nobody is better than Barney as far as our top 11 goes, except for maybe the guy named George Dobson. But this year, I'm curious to see, just because Ryan might need a spell. It's been a lot of minutes for him, whether that's what happens. Seb on the bench yet again, Cannon in there to fill out, and Matty James. And while we're there, I mean, how do we talk about Matty James and Bodferson when really my experience is only with Bodferson as to what I researched, because I was curious as to why he wasn't in the roster during the Bolton match, because I thought he seemed to perform pretty good and actually went through the stats for him back during that process. How do we quantify two people we've never really seen ourselves?
It obviously very difficult, right? So I didn't do a big study on either one of them. It appears that a lot of people know Matty James well, if you were a football player and a football fan, and you saw him in the Premier League and so on. But I think for me, we had roster spots, we have needs. I wanted someone in. I didn't want to wait to the January window. We needed legitimate help. So the sooner the better. I'm glad they got people, that are, worthy of League One, that we didn't, get really bad players in. I don't know if these guys are the long-term fit, ideally. Not intimating that they aren't. I think we'll see, right? See how they fit in and if it all works out. But I'm excited we got people in right away. And for me, it was also, I did have my concerns about the midfield. I didn't think you could go lead every game and expect high output. And, as hard as Dobson plays, you definitely want to make sure you have some sort of solid backup. And with Evans, still hurting, you needed something. So happy with they went out and did what they needed to do.
And I'm just going to go off of Kim's point and transition from yours regarding Bodferson. He's an interesting player, at least statistically, because I don't think we've had a forward like him since the Ryan and Ryan takeover of Wrexham, and that is he's not really a finisher. But he sets up everybody. Like, you look at his statistics and you compare him to Stephen Fletcher, you compare him to some of those to a more experienced striker, Palmer. He doesn't ratchet up the goals like you'd expect a forward to do, but he gets way more assists, almost similar to like an attacking midfielder with a little bit who can handle the ball inside the box quite well. So it's an interesting dynamic, and I'm curious to see how that plays out in Parky's 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 or however you wish to define it. With Matty James, I mean, I haven't seen enough, but you go Premier League experience, championship, and you've got the midfielder help. We thought we had a lot of depth. I think we have a lot of depth, but you lose as many sort of as we have, and all of a sudden you've got some questions. So I think that's there. Jack of all trades, hello from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. So I don't know what to take of this one. We haven't talked score predictions yet, and I brought up some graphics, and I don't know if you want to go to those ones first. And when I say that, I mean the three that I've made.
Sure. In one moment.
I was able to do that. No RKO. Who's moved your stuff around? Yeah, W&G's already out with the predictions, and so I'm curious what everybody else thinks before I get my comments out. If you want to throw those in there,
go right ahead with the stats.
So, Brendan, when you've got the stats up there, so I'm on the last 5 matches. So for them, they've actually been they were on a bit of a soft patch. They had a loss to Stevenage, they had a loss to Bristol Rovers, and then since then, I mean, they took 3 points from Brum. And rumor is that they shut them down quite efficiently. But then after that, they had draws with Stockport and Barnsley. So that match that I heard, if you watched or listened to Rob Ryan Red, they were discussing with a Charlton fan who's on there frequently and basically said, yes, and hit the like button, DeAndre, who basically said that Charlton is a team that right now defensively looks like they can handle anybody in the league. And when you are able to shell up and we've maybe that's what Mansfield happened. The story with Mansfield and Brum today, if you haven't heard, ended in a 1-1 draw, is teams that are able to shell up and hold off Birmingham with their shape and defensively can eke out wins, and that's how you beat Brum, and they were able to do that. So I expect it to be low scoring. You look at those goals away, and I flipped it to be goals against away at home. We're tied for first in our goals away. When outside away from the race course, they're tied for third for goals against at home. So you've got two teams that don't allow a lot of goals, and then scoring them, we're 21st in the league at scoring away from the Kairos, which ain't that good. So when RKO says 3-1, I can't see it. I hope I am wrong, and I hope it's we're able to fill the back of the net. But I'm gonna guess this is a 1-0 as if a 1-0, and I'm gonna go win. And Giselle's with me, so we'll take it there. Brendan, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is one of those ones where you're thinking the range is, if Charlton had their best day, maybe they beat us 2-0 away, right? And at their place. And if we come with one of our better away performances against this good team, we'd be happy. We'd be lucky to get a 2-0 with a really great performance. So I think that's the range. I thought that with the difficulty in the games and them being all on top of each other with Rotherham, Huddersfield, and Charlton, and this one being away, I expected that this would be the loss out of all the games. And so, again, like taking a loss to a really good team on the road is not the worst thing. You just don't want too many of those. So I still think there's a good chance we lose today. I'm hoping for a draw, and maybe everyone clicks and Mullen finally gets on his roll. And if that's the case, then yeah, we're winning 2-0. So.
If you are familiar with YouTubers who do watch-alongs and all that sort of stuff, you've got Mr. Goldbridge from the United Stand, who is actually on Charlton's website making a 2-0 prediction for Charlton because Wrexham doesn't travel very well. I will say this, and everybody has their opinion. I quite like, he's done a lot for football and very well for himself. His voice, though, grates the absolute tar out of me. And I don't know if I'm the only one. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. But yeah, just I don't get it because I couldn't listen to him for longer than a couple of minutes. That 13-second video was about all I could give him. And I'm sure people say the same thing about me and or my accent. So Michelle, how are you? Good morning to you. And Aaron's here.
Do you want me to go through the rest of your stats for the?
Oh yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to that. So there isn't a much that separates the teams. When you go through it, what you end up seeing is we're a little bit more efficient than they are. And when I say that, goals per shots on target, we're second overall in the league. Compared to them being 13th, but areas where they get us, you look at the accurate passes, we're damn close. You get to possession, which is usually our weakness. They're not way ahead of us at 5% more. We're better at save percentage. Like this is coin flip. You can go down and what do you see? Accurate crosses are damn close. Accurate long balls, four over the entire season. Fought mob goals for 14th and 15th. This all pans out to look like two teams who are pretty damn close to each other. So, this is maybe some bad mojo in the comments. John says, "Good morning. I checked the windows to see if pigs are flying because I agree with Brendan. Has hell frozen over?" So the Massachusetts lads, for the first time in a long time, seeing eye to eye at outset. That's
not a good sign.
If one of two things is going to happen here now, if we get blown out, you guys are never allowed to agree, and if we thump the hell out of it, then you guys better start having coffee and singing Kumbaya and getting close to each other going forward. Jason thinks it's going to be a coin flip, and John says he'll give his arm for a draw, but wouldn't be surprised with a 2-1 loss. So not much in the stats there. Moving to the referee then. This is a man who not afraid to give out the pens again, but doesn't give out a lot of cards. He's the league average 4.40, and he's given out 4. An average of 4 per game. The red cards, he's hasn't given one out yet, and his pens though he's given out 2. So experienced guy, Sam Purkis, and the lads are starting to wake up and roll into the bedroom as the day gets underway here. Just quickly, their lineup, and I'm going to go to my notes on them. They're out 3 players, and one of them we were talking about before just briefly. The big question would be Jones, Lloyd Jones. He of 10 matches played, 10 matches started, 900 minutes. So he's been off for a couple of games now, but he's one of their top defenders as we understand it. And I think you heard somewhere that he was kind of like their anchor. Do I have that right, Brendan?
That's what I had heard. I've watched a few of the Charlton things, and I thought he was the guy that holds it together in the back and kind of is the glue guy there. If he is out, that's that, margin of maybe Wrexham gets rolling today. If you're thinking that's possible, that could be the reason why the change there could really throw them off. So.
Yeah, and so that one's an interesting one and a big hit for them. The other one's Kane Ramsey, who's listed as a midfield defender. He's had 840 of their minutes so far, and they've had 1,080. So that we're talking about people who've played 80%, 90% of their minutes. He's also not out. And then Gaston Yaya, who's might have been out for a while, I'm not sure, but he's not in this one as well. And the interesting one to me is Chuks Aneke, who's a 31-year-old. He's played in 9 minutes. He looks to me to be sort of akin to our Stephen Fletcher in the sense that he's their late minute guy. He hasn't started a match, but he's been in 9 matches. He's had 221 minutes. He leads the team in assists, and he's not in the lineup today for them either. So other than that, we'll see what comes from Charlton Athletic on Parkinson's return. Not really. I don't think the fans there in Charlton will be fans of Phil Parkinson. I don't know if you looked up his Wikipedia page. John probably has and can spell out all of the stuff. But as I understand it, he was the manager who was in control when Charlton Athletic went down to the 3rd tier for the first time in 30 years. Was an assistant manager, became a caretaker manager, then became the manager, and saw the demotion, the relegation. And so I don't think he is much loved in Charlton, but it's interesting to see what sort of reaction obviously George Dobson gets. Can you believe that George Dobson, they signed and let him come to us?
Yeah, the fans don't seem too happy about that. So.
Yeah, I'd be interested to go back in time and listen to the boardroom conversations about that one, because that one's somewhat confusing to me. And yeah, Bodferson is interesting to me largely because, like I said earlier on, I don't know what we're going to get from him within Parky's style, because he's not a scorer as much as he is a playmaker, and you certainly need both. But how does that interrelationship play as a forward up front with largely Mullen, I suspect, as Marriott's out, and we'll see how that happens. Where do we go from here? At the Valley in London. If you're just joining us, the like button is down before. Please smash that if you get the opportunity to let the algorithm gods know that we are here. I'll take care of the formalities while we're here as well. And for those that are joining and wondering what the hell's going on behind me, I'm in the midst of a renovation and a move, so I excuse the boxes everywhere. Please, and I want to take care of the obligations here. All of our matches and watch-alongs are ad-free thanks to the sponsorship of Ultimate Promotions. You can see them by going to ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. If you're looking for sport pin trading, they do stamped pins like this one. That Bryn, when he was in Wrexham, tells me everybody was trying to trade with him. I'm going to have to find a way to get those over, and I keep saying that. Excuse me. They do soft enamel, hard enamel. They do badges and they do medals. So if you're looking for a sports club to get some pins together, you've got a club that wants some pins, you need some badges for work recognition and that sort of stuff, or you've got an event whether it be one of those running events or a football event, you want unique embedded enamel medals that are colorful and beautiful and all that sort of stuff. 48 years of experience. They've been doing it a long time with some large corporations, companies, and nonprofit organizations in Canada and around the world. Check them out. ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. All right, there's the ad spin. Where do we go from there, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great if we did get to see James today. Don't necessarily think it's going to happen. Wouldn't mind Fall getting in some. I really don't. I think Mullen could use a break from going the full game, and I think because he seems gassed this year. Every time he hasn't got fully back into shape, maybe. So I do think he probably needs to come off, and obviously we know Palmer really can't last the whole game, and so we got to see something there.
Well, let's get up by a couple early, and we can bring in Matty James and move James McLean in as a forward or something with Revan.
See what happens.
Yeah, let's do that. It's kind of like one of those things where you get a new older car, and it's sitting in the garage, and you kind of want to take it out for an early rip, right? A spin. So driving Mullen and Palmer into the ground seems unwise. Is Kim, who always has the pithy summary that's exactly on point. Yes, that would be unwise. And there's John saying lost all 7 as a caretaker, was given the job, and then was subsequently fired after the next season. And the guy who went in got promoted, which I'm not surprised that the guy that got in got promoted. So he went relegated first time in 30 years, and the guy comes in, probably one of the easier management jobs to ever have. It's like the guy is managing Birmingham. I could manage Brum, I think, to a promotion. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Charles, Mom and Dad are both here for you. I don't know if my mom's in the background because she never joins the chat, but I feel like if you're there, you say hi anyway. But perfect stuff. So the other thing, Deandra just put it out there, and let me scroll up so I can put that onto the screen, is Brendan and Deandra are both going to be there for tomorrow's match against Cardiff Met. And so join them for that one. A reminder for that one, in the UK, daylight savings changes today. And for us in North America, it's later. So it will be an hour later than normal. It will be a 7 o'clock kickoff, more traditional to today than the typical 6 a.m. kickoff our time, or I guess if you're West Coast, 10 o'clock instead of the 9 o'clock start. So just be aware of that. I guess the issue is you won't miss it. You'll just be up early and waiting for that one to start. 9 minutes left to go. Where are we going from here, Brandon?
Yeah.
I got polls I could.
The feed's going to look like from Paramount, and they have a tendency to jump around. They don't go to the home field all the time of the game that they're going to play. So I'm seeing a bunch of nonsense at the moment.
Hey, and I don't know if you have it, but while we're here, the reason I'm wearing this one is because I wanted to mention and maybe give a little shout out, marrying a Northern English lass. I've also developed an affinity for rugby league, which is played more in the north of England than it is elsewhere. And the Welsh Crusaders played at the Kairos for a period of time. But if you have the South Sydney Rabbitohs 2024 third jersey somewhere available, throw that up on the screen. And I'll just let everybody in the chat have a look at that one and see if you see anything familiar.
I have it up on the screen now, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. And that's twice in a row, by the way, while I'm just interluding. If you're listening on iFollow, this is now 2 weeks in a row where whoever's at the control, Mark just gets started, gets his 30-second intro in, and then they cut him out and they go to the promotion graphic and he comes back. So I'm sure he's going to come back on and for the second week or second game in a row be like, and I guess I'll start over. So John got retracted there. Let me see. Can I see what he said? No, it won't let me load it up. Oh, and he doesn't know. So anyway, fascinating stuff. Not the first time that jerseys have been replicated or that you can say that it's close, but to me, that one's an exact copy. So to anybody who's there in Sydney watching and a Rabbitohs fan, I kind of want to get one of those jerseys myself now, just because of the similarities. Fascinating stuff. So yeah, next up, FA Cup Sunday. And so we're
Yeah, you're all on your own for that
We're
one.
all on my own for that one, which will be, I'll have to set up the system and make sure that it's all running, which it's supposed to be in the background. Hold on 1 second. So, yeah, the FA Cup, Harrogate away, that'll be a good one, and I will have the setup all up, and I haven't checked, and I'm hoping behave yourself. I don't know if you're concerned about me or you're not. Most North Americans, I don't think, know the difference between rugby union and rugby league. But I do think that the rugby league fits more with the North American style because it's closer to football. That is the Rabbitohs logo. What is the Castrol?
The one I had on the screen. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so and Sam, I don't know if you're in Sydney, I forget, or whereabouts in Oz you are, and if you're a rugby league fan, but anyway, I found that one close and similar. So, yeah, I'll have it all set up for the Harrogate match next Sunday, and then I think we can plan for Rabbitohs, like almost, I don't have an Aussie accent, and I don't know what a Rabbitoh is, TOHS. But I don't know why they just don't call them the Sydney Rabbits. And if it means something else, I haven't looked into that one ever. The etymology of Rabbitohs. And I don't know why we're talking rugby league right now. I do want to be there for the Mansfield match. I do want to do a Who Are You for that one. It comes at the absolute worst time as it happens to be the day that I'm moving. The day after at 4:30 in the morning. But we will figure that all out as we go through. I've thought that's a possibility, John, but at some point in time, you've got to get somebody who lets in an ugly one, right? I just don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, Charlton, a team that's been in the Prem, probably thinks its home is in the Championship, who's been living down in League One. I haven't been... I said this at the start of the year in the predictions when everybody was putting their predictions together. I didn't have Charlton in my top third. I was probably one of the only people who didn't put them there. And I don't know why. I just went through the lineup statistically and I was like, I don't think that they have it. Obviously, they've got a good history. Obviously, they are in the mix. But I see their top end being eking into the playoffs. And we'll see what happens. And maybe I get proven wrong. Go ahead, Brendan. I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I guess some of the Charlton stuff I saw there, their diehards are pretty upset that they were selling half and half scarves in the pro shop there for them, and they feel a little, a certain way about. I think you're right. They still feel like they're Premier League team, or they have a pedigree we don't, and we're getting too much credit. We're getting too much shine, and that they're a little bothered by all of that.
It's that history
as
thing.
All the fans are, I guess, in League One. They don't like Wrexham, and that we're getting all the attention, right? So. I found a lot of that pretty interesting. But we do have so many of their players. And I also heard someone say every time a former player comes back, they almost always score. So would love to see Lee or Dobson or did Palmer play for them for a very small amount of time, maybe? Not sure.
He may have. I think Ollie Palmer, I think, played with everybody in the EFL.
I know he played for a few teams down in London, Wimbledon, and so on. But I don't know if he played any time in Charlton. But yeah, Lee scoring would be nice.
It's fascinating to me, and I'd be an interesting study for a sociology student is the importance of history and how it influences things in different countries. And I don't know if it's the UK having a longer history than the United States and Canada, at least as far as non-Indigenous peoples, but the focus on on history and where people believe, because I think Charlton probably is a championship club based on history. If you were to average everything out, that's where they would sit. But you have relegation and promotion for a reason, and it's for teams to make their run up and run down. I would think that most Wrexham fans prior to this season would say League One, Tier 3 was probably Wrexham's natural home.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they've reached greater heights, and we want to get there. But yeah, it's just interesting as an American or a non-Englishman to see what it is that gets fans in England fired up, and something like scarves is just kind of, you know, foreign to me. So
scarves and teams that don't have a history of being where they're at, not deserving or not supposed to be there is something that
you're not allowed to be a fan if you don't live here and haven't been a fan for multiple decades or something. And you know, like you can't like or enjoy the fact that your team came in and got Hollywood money as opposed to oil money or something else. You know, I don't get these little you know, ways that they slice and dice it up and get all upset. But
yeah, interesting stuff. We'll just continue to roll on and do our thing. Plastic fans and all. Getting up at 7 a.m. watching a team. This is, Travis, you just summed up all of us, really. Getting up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday and watching a team from a small town across the globe. What am I doing with my life? You're living it. You're enjoying it. That's what we're doing. So we're almost getting underway here. I'll take over. Brendan will live in the background, and he'll probably find new ways to make me look like a fool with the graphics. I'm sure that there might be a couple of additional weapons that could be dropped out. I'm just assuming. And I hope everybody tapped somebody in the groin before this match. And I say that, as John just says, absolutely nuts. Well, we're having I'm trying to listen to the tannoy. They're having a moment of silence for Lord Herman Oisley. And there you go. Mr. Crow. Was it an homage then? Does Russell Crowe do an homage to Wrexham, and that's the reason why he put in a one-day third jersey against the Canberra Raiders back in Matchweek, whatever it was, 24? Round of applause. And it was hard to hear. I know that the man they are celebrating, and I apologize for not knowing the backstory in advance, started a bunch of charities intimately familiar with the athletics, latex addicts, the addicts. Oh, we're groin tapping Mr. Mullen in the background. That will live in infamy. First goal comes immediately after getting completely pummeled in the groin during preseason. Lord Ousley. Wrexham in their blacks going from left to right. Charlton Athletic in the reds going from right to left. It looks like it is a 90% full stadium, at least at kickoff. We'll see how it fills in as the game goes on. And I hear Wrexham in full voice in the background, louder than in the match against Huddersfield. Yes, John, we're underway, and this should be a good one as Cleworth gets the first touch from the kickoff, and it comes back for a long ball sent down the field. Palmer not able to get there, and it's headed away. Dobson up against Bear, and the ball scrambled loose, and Lee has to come back and goes just safely all the way back to Ogonko. There we go. Stephen with the message. Everybody has to groin tap themselves. Get on board. If you don't do it, it's your fault if we don't win. Rathbone steps in front of one and gets an interception. It's to Lee, out to McLean. Left-hand side, just outside the 18-yard box. Left foot, cross, knocked out easily by Watson. O'Connor steps in, gets it to Lee. Still working on the left-hand side and looking for the switch. No, it's going to get put back into O'Connor. Back to Dobson. Dobson's got Rathbone. Interesting to see how those two work together for an entire match. Cleworth with it. Barney, the magic man, down the right side, 18-yard box, taking on his man. It's going to be Edwards, and he gets the cross in by him and headed and defended well. I thought that was a header, not a clearance. The shoulder charge just gets launched down the field. Early pressure. I love this. Scar gets it, knocks it to O'Connor. There's a scream for a ball, not given. And yes, that's the other message from Deandra. I'm at 1 minute and 30 seconds starting right now. And so feel free to adjust your stuff accordingly. If you don't go back in time and you are listening to me, no spoilers in the chat, please. That would be awesome. And nobody panic. Jinping's pox doctors here. We are okay. We are getting close to 2 minutes coming up here, and we've got a Charlton player down on the ground. I don't know if he's injured or if he's just settling things down as Charlton Athletic kind of getting overwhelmed early. And initial signs are the referee's going to let him play because there's been a couple of shoulder barges, one that was close to being a 50-50 ball, a debatable handball. He's all let them slide. So let him play, let him play, let him play seems to be the message. And Wickham already up 1-0 on Leyton Orient. Only allowed to watch live. You can tell a Wrexham fan these days, they're hunched over with tears in their eyes during a pre-match ritual. Yeah. Over in the long term, if the birth rate in Wrexham goes down, it's from too many people getting groin punched. So we're getting closer to the 3-minute mark. This is Campbell who's on the ground, I believe. That's on their opposite side of the pitch, though, from where I would have expected him. Is it Watson? No, that would make sense. 27 and not 7. And it looks like he's got a serious one. Yeah, they're saying sub. He's coming off. So a sub window used early, 3-minute mark. We'll see how that influences things. And in a tight match between two teams that statistically line up damn near equal, it's those little things that could be a thing. And so Watson out at the 3-minute mark. And how do I miss who came in there? Was it 23? Was that Edmonds Green? Yeah, he looks like he's in rough shape. That's Oh, Jason. Thank you, my friend. Oh, and I tabbed the wrong thing. For the 10 memberships, the sponsorship, you can do that if you hit the join button down below. So go ahead and hit that. And thank you, my friend, for doing that one. And the first time Cleworth gets challenged and he's there. Oh, he got called for the tug on the jersey. Defensively, I thought he did fine. He got beaten around the corner by Campbell, and then what I thought was able to get in front of the man to clear, but the referee saw something different. And so we're going to have a free kick from 19 yards out, just outside the 18-yard box. And yeah, okay, maybe it was fair enough. A little bit of a pullback on the right shoulder that allowed him to get around. I thought he did enough to get there. So a dangerous opportunity. Thank you, Pox Doctor, for taking care of Wickham. 2-man wall, right-footed entry. It could be up and down in a shot. This is from a dangerous spot. And 5 men lined up over on the right. The whistle blows. The service is up. It's into the area. It's dangerous. And it just misses. I don't know what Arthur was doing there. I think he thought that they was going to come redirected because he just let that one go past. And it missed by about a foot. Yeah, that one a little bit fortunate. Watch that one again. Was there a head that was there? And yeah, probably would have liked to have seen something better from And who am I trying? I thought that was number 5 when I saw it on the replay. Was it Gillespie number 3? In any event, just missed. Ogonkwo gets us back underway. Stockport up, Wickham up. Everybody around us is winning. And yet dodged one there. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to join. If you're watching on Twitch or you're watching on X, feel free to come over and join in the chat over on YouTube. And Clueworth gets us with a throw in into the midfield stripe. It goes over everybody, and Mullen goes to try and collect it, unable to, and Mitchell hammers it the other way. Charlton with it now. Scar advances it to Ogonkwo, who collects and easy does it. There you go. Steven just says, Arthur knew it was wide. We're all being a little dramatic over here on our end. Scar with it. Long thump bounces awkwardly. Mullen goes in there to get it, but it's collected by, that was Gillespie, I think, on the left side instead of the right. Did I get that right? Yes. Have Mitchell and Gillespie swapped sides? No. How are you, Santiago? Lots of time left, but this is also one of those beasts of a match that, I predicted 1-0 to start, but as Brendan said and John said, if you can take a draw away from this in a single point, you kind of take it. You got to just play the game in front of you, and this is one of them. Yeah, it had more curl, more bring back than I thought, and initially off of his foot, I thought it was a clear entry into the box to be played on. It did move more than I thought it was going to. So dangerous anyway from the set piece as they get underway with Mannion hammering it down. 10% difference in save percentage between Ogonkwo and Mannion. Just slightly more than 10%, to be fair. No, I don't. I wish I had rum in my coffee or Bailey's. I'd take either. Campbell with it. Coventry lays it back. Gillespie over to... Oh, now Gillespie's over on the left-hand side. Gillespie's dangerous, headed towards the box, and Ogonkwo has it. Kind of a wasted opportunity there by Anderson. Space, time in the box, gets the touch, and a soft little gentle header to Ogonkwo, who's got a couple of saves early and is into this one. Yeah, the gaps are there, and is that a credit to them, or is that just us sleeping as Barney tries to work it? Man. They're either numbers or the Coventry. I'm mixing up 16s and 6s and 27s and 7s. Speaking of groins, their numbers are too closely getting wrapped into their groins. I can't read the numbers on the back of their kit or front of their shorts. Max has it, gives it to Ogonkwo. O'Connor, long ball down the pitch, giving it to Mullen to chase, and that's easily handled by Mitchell. And so far, the long ball stuff not really working. Scar clearance, and both teams are throwing it back and forth. And Dobson, who there are 2 players who, if they pick up yellow cards, will pick up a suspension. And then Dobson, fortunately for him, he gets to play against his former club, Charlton. The other one, Cannon, by the way, sitting on 4 yellows. At risk of a 1-game suspension for yellow card accumulation. Max plays it out. Throw in for Charlton. They play it back. And it's long ball from them, long ball from us. Barney gets undercut. Foul. Mark, a little bit lucky maybe to get spilled and dumped onto the ground. But you get up in the air and you get wiped out in the legs, and I think that's the right call. based on how things are going, a lot of people didn't do the groin tap or not hard enough, Stephen, because they came out for the first 2 minutes really well. But since the injury, it's been all Charlton. And there's the exact same play the other way by Palmer. Not really, I guess, undercut, but too much contact for the player who's already in the air in front of him. So a free kick for Charlton from 10 yards inside of the halfway stripe. Mitchell. Edmonds Green up to Anderson. Anderson with it now. Draws it back. That's Doherty. He almost loses it. And the referee, did he just blow his knee? Had to blow it down. He's done. The referee's blown his knee out. In the Are we going to get a replay of that one? Because obviously I wasn't paying attention. The ball was over on the far right side of the pitch. The referee's in the middle, and all of a sudden the whistle blows. And I thought, well, that's awkward. And I actually thought maybe somebody had a whistle in the crowd or something, because it just didn't make any sense. But that is the very first time. Is the flop meter going? This one. So I shouldn't laugh. You don't want to see anybody getting hurt. Here's the replay. Oh, he got taken out by Ollie Rathbone, who ran in front of him. And Rathbone turns around and goes, what? And he's... so he got brushed by, but I don't know what happened there. And Ollie gets a card. No, I bet he better not. But Rathbone, when he went down, turned around and went, what the hell? So well, thank God for that, DeAndre, down to 51% possession. And so he seems to be fine. And he's getting the Bronx cheer. There's my trivia question. What's a Bronx cheer called in the UK? Where you get that celebration for a play that's like it's an ironic cheer. Red to Rathbone. He's gonna have to. Rathbone may have to be careful. Hopefully, the referee doesn't hold grudges. We are gonna have added time on this one because that was 3 minutes ish on the first one, and there's another 2 or 3, and we are 13 minutes in, and it's been an uneventful match because half of it's been with injury. Northampton in a battle at the bottom. At home, go up on Crawley. And a shout out W&G for giving us the score. Is Campbell on Cleworth. Cleworth has his hands full with Campbell. And Campbell doesn't have an option. Well done by Cleworth. He's got to go all the way back to the center backs. And it's Gillespie over to Mitchell, over to the sub Edmonds Green. Wiped out in the no call gone. Interesting. I thought that he got slew fit in the air by us, but nothing given. That was Godden who came back, and I thought that he'd taken a boot in the back of the feet and it got wiped out and nothing given. So we'll take that. I don't think it would have been a card. I was just thinking it would have been a foul. Possession starting to come into the area that Wrexham is more comfortable with, as Charlton has increased control, and Anderson saves a heavy pass from Anderson and gets it over to Coventry. Down to Campbell. Well done by Barney to knock that pass down. Rathbone collects to Ogonkwo, and it's thumped down with a Charlton Athletic player moving forward. Mullen touches it all by himself on the right-hand side, slows it down and waits for support. Support comes in. Barney, 20 yards out, gets around his man, and he's grabbed as he had him beat. That's close to a card. Nothing given. Barney had him beat going around the right-hand side, and he two-hand grabs him on the shoulder and pulls him down. It's 100% a foul. No yellow. That's a yellow. That should have been a yellow on Mitchell. He had him beat down the right-hand side, space galore, and instead we're going to get a free kick 16 yards away from goal, and TOC steps up to take it. Tell me in the chat I'm wrong. That had to be a yellow. Naughty spirits on the pitch, maybe. In this match or the next. Huddersfield up 1-0 on Exeter. Here comes the entry. Left footer into the box. Flat. Oh, dangerous. It's in. I think McLean got a head on that, and then it hit the head of a Charlton player, and it went in. It was a flat delivery, a bullet, only about 6-7 feet off the ground. And it pinballed in, and I think it was off a 2. We'll watch it again. I think it hit McLean. I don't whether intended or not. It was that hard. Bounced off of I think a Charlton player, and then scooped by Mannion, who I think got a hand on it. But anyway, we're up 1-0. You take it. 1-0. Good guys. Here it is. Replay. Oh, I can't even tell what happens, and it hits Mannion in the chest off of a. Did McLean get it? Can't tell on that header. Slow down the replays. Slow it down. Oh no! I think that was an own goal. I don't think that hit James McLean. I think that hit Edwards. Skiffed it off of Edwards onto Mannion, and Mannion, who thought he was lined up for it, all of a sudden had to make a save and couldn't. We'll see how they score it up. And it's marked as to be determined on FOTMob right now. Who cares? We're up 1-0 off the goalie's chest, and nobody knows what happens. And FOTMob doesn't either. Take a screenshot of it. It's to be determined is the goal scorer. Interesting that Rathbone put his hand down and stopped it. FOTMob said it was Coventry who scored. Own goal. Interesting. Because oh no, that's number 6. Okay. Interesting. We'll take it. It's up now. My nuts have rarely been so grateful. Man, if there are people who are joining us, and if you're on Twitter and or Twitch watching for the first time, the reason we keep talking about groin taps is because Mullen, on his return, took a ball to the groin in the pre-match warm-up, and then came out and scored a goal. So we view groin taps as good luck for this season, because he scored shortly thereafter. Give it to O'Connor and call it a worldie. Exactly as he drew it up, right? TOC. I'm going to skiff this off of their head, bang it off of Mannion's chest, and then Mannion's going to stare at everybody and wonder what happened. A throw in from 16 yards out for Charlton. It's into the box. Palmer dangerously knocks his man over, and it's lifted up over top of the net. Lots of touches in the air in the 18-yard box for Charlton. So would like to see that one stop. The bench at Charlton still looking to try and figure out exactly what the hell just happened on that goal. But we will take a freebie. Let's get a couple of more here. Go up big, and we can let Matty James get his legs in. We can let McLean play in the midfield and let Seb run. Palmer, nice, won the ball, got it to Mullen, dangerous to McLean. In the middle of the pitch, he's got Lee coming up, left footer, drawn into Mullen, just missed it. The pass was there, but Mitchell was able to step in front, and all he has is to clear it, and McLean plays it quickly. Whoop, put Lee into dangerous territory. He saves it to O'Connor. O'Connor gets it back to McLean. He missed the pass. McLean was moving to the middle of the pitch, and it went behind him, and away it goes the other way. We gain control. Palmer has it now. McLean, nice little flick over. He gave a handball. All right. Aaron, we don't know what happened. That's the thing. No, TOC had service from the right-hand side from a free kick on what should have been a yellow card, but wasn't. And maybe that's the football gods answering our prayers and doing what was deserved and giving us a reward after Barney's hard work drew a foul. TOC smashed a flat, heavy shot towards. We thought maybe McLean would hit it, but it ended up apparently coming off of Coventry, hit Manning in the chest, and it goes in. Own goal. Score it up. And here comes Charlton across the halfway line. Coventry, the goal scorer, advances it forward, and it's thumped away by Scar. Well done. I like the physical play. Campbell gets a touch of the ball, and he's been dealing with Barney and matched up, and he takes a heavy shot to the back. McLean, pressure on, gets a mistake. It gets to Scar, goes to Lee to McLean to TOC. They close quickly. They close very quickly. And TOC trying to run past 3 people, and he's not able to, and eventually it goes out for a throw-in. Early man of the match, Coventry. When it first went up with Coventry, I forgot that was a last name, and I thought, wow, Thought Mob's got it really bad because they're giving it to a team that's not even on the pitch. There you go. In future matches, we don't have to hit anyone in the groin. We just have to wipe out the referee. A slew foot, a knee-on-knee collision. And hi, Jeannie. Nice to see ya. Nice tackle by Palmer. Goes out for a throw-in, and Edwards is going to grab it and throw it in. And there's John. He's loving his football. Speaking of Coventry, what a comeback they had versus Luton, down 0-2 and come back for a 3-2 win. The joys of being on the East Coast, you can wake up and enjoy those matches. The ones that's happened at 4:30, those are a tough start for me. Coventry comes back, collects the ball, halfway line, steps over front, advances it up to Anderson. Anderson goes wide. That'll be the sub, Edmonds Green, who's looking to serve it into the box. Oh, Barney skips underneath him, and it's going to go to Campbell. Campbell on Barney, just inside the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, draws it back. Coventry shooting, trying to score on both, and Ogonko, good reach. That was close to being on target. I don't know whether it would have hit the woodwork or whether it would have gone in or wide, but it was damn close. And Ogonko was there low and to his left after a deflection. Oh, no, that was earmarked to go in off of a deflection from Coventry. Well done, Arthur. I'm doing all right. Right-footed in the swinger coming from Barry. Too many touches inside the 18-yard area. Low, flat, forwarded. Whoa, it was well done by Rathbone, but we're still in danger territory as that one came quickly and directed for the far corner. Rathbone sitting on the post to defend the corner, able to get his right foot on and get the clearance. It's back in, served, headed up, and it's in. Goal. Too many touches, too many opportunities, and you could smell it, and you knew it was coming, and it's in. 1-1. A long entry to the far post across the pitch, and it's looped up and headed in by Gillespie, who was all the way up forward, and it just went up and over top of Arthur, and you knew that was going in off of his head. So had the clearance from Palmer. It goes out wide. It's collected. Lots of red jerseys forward, and then it's just from 40 yards away, a long searching switch over to the right-hand side, and it's just looped up over and plopped into the far side of the net. Yeah, it was intentionally, had lots of space to do it. He picked a spot and he plopped it in. I mean, and there you go. Must groin tap. Another round for the boys. Palmer on to Mullen. Mullen, 3-man on him, not able to get it. Palmer comes in, stabs it loose, and we've got another Charlton player down over on the left-hand side. I don't know if anybody's seen him yet as the play comes back down to Wrexham's area. And is he up? Must be up as play continues. Playing pinball in midfield with the header to see whose feet it lands on, and it lands on the feet of Doherty, and Charlton Athletic has it. Gillespie with one for them. Coventry with one for us. And the whistle blows. Do we have another injury? I thought, who was with me on this going to be a low-scoring match? Right now we're sitting 1-1, 24 minutes in, and despite extended injury breaks for Watson and for the referee, we're already 1-1, and it's been action-packed in the middle of things. Rathbone forwards it on to Palmer. Palmer chests it down, 18-yard area. He's got Mullen. Couldn't get it off his feet over to Mullen, who had some space, and Rathbone can't knock it down. So it's all the way cleared to TOC, and I think that's our throw. Good. The way they were acting, Charlton was all running down, trying to encourage the referee to make the call that was an easy one to them, but it was TOC who banged it off of their legs. And yes, Giselle, we can be in the same club. McLean couldn't find Palmer down the left-hand side, and so it's Charlton with it now. Godden comes quite all the way back to midfield, and that's going to roll out, and we'll get a throw in 25, 30 yards away. Stretch, relax. Was it his push? I actually thought it was the guy in front who framed him out, but G-Zone comes in late and sees the goal. If you were in the bog and they scored, you're not allowed to go to the bathroom again, if that's what happened. Ogonkwo, right-footed, gets us down in the middle of the pitch, looking for Palmer, who heads it on. Nice. Oh, I thought he got that to McLean, but it came too far forward. And it's Anderson, stepped in front of Dobson, clears it. McLean now with it. McLean to Lee. Lee to Dobson. Dobson looks for Rathbone. Nope, find Barney instead on the far switch over the right-hand side. 25 yards out, 18 yards out, looking, dancing. Barney, cross, flat. It's there. Palmer leaves it. Off the woodwork, the crossbar. Oh, Elliot Lee. The white Pele. Off the right foot on another gorgeous service, a flat one from Barney. And it goes by Mullen, goes by Palmer. Elliot Lee is right there with time and space, and he ratchets it off of the bar. Oh, bullet earmarked for the corner. Unlucky. But yes, what an effort. It was beautiful. Everything was there, except we just needed a little less energy off of that foot. Damn close. Northampton up 2-0 in the bottom of the battle of the bottom. Double-barreled names. You've got Maynard Brewer. You got Edmonds Green. Alan Campbell. Even the names, like you've got first names, last name. Alan Campbell. Campbell could be a last name. Terry Taylor. Anyway, back to the game. Dobson clearance, but it's stabbed forward again. Barney has to collect a high ball and does so, and then dances in. He's grabbed. That's a yellow. Yep, he's got to go into his pocket on that one. Finally, yay! So that's Edwards getting the yellow card. Should have got one on Barney. Ends up getting one on, well, I guess on Barney again. But it should have been him earlier on. He gets one for the second time where he's grabbed. I guess it grabbed the waist. You get a yellow. Grab the shoulders. Don't get a yellow. I'm trying to understand the difference between why that was a yellow here and it wasn't the first time around. But long ball. Oh, that's a foul. Does Mullen go down easy? Yes. Was that a foul? Also, yes. So 19 yards out near the middle of the pitch. It's going to have to be service in. I don't think anyone's going to go up and down from that spot. Maybe smash through the wall. But yeah, that was just arms right over top by Gillespie and rips Mullen back. Like Pele before the Viagra adverts. David. Oh, man. The Viagra adverts. So we've got Mullen there. We've got TOC there. We've got 4 men in the wall and 1 just off. Scar standing behind. Palmer standing behind. And just four players offensively in the box. 4 in the wall and 1 defender on either side, and 3 to mark both Scar, Palmer, and Lee. And McLean standing pretty all by himself over on the left as the defender starts to eke himself over. Mullen through the wall. But it's good. And by that, I mean 3 points. Skied way over top by Mullen. Back underway, left footer all the way down. header battle just on our side of the halfway line. It's going to land to Campbell on the left-hand side. A nice little lead for Barry, but stopped by Cleworth. No, thank you. That's the stuff that we were used to. It's been a little bit nervy from Cleworth to start, and it might be the pace of Campbell that he's dealing with, but very good there. And a nice little feed up to Mullen. Left-hand side of the box, inside that was a foul, I thought, as well. I don't know if intentional or not, but he got into the back of Mullen's legs on the left-hand side and basically spun him around. And I don't think that was Mullen going down easy. I just thought that the physics of that is now Mannion is down. Check the pitch in Charlton. What's going on? We're going double-barreled again. If we need a sub, is Ashley Maynard Brewer would be the sub. Yeah, that he doesn't need to stop flopping around like a fish, but the one where he went down and we drew the free kick, that was clearly a foul. I mean, he was grabbed over top of the shoulders and reefed all the way back. This one I also thought was a foul, even though, and I don't even think he had the chance to go down easy. I think he just his left leg got hung up on the defender and flung around. And I missed that, John. John saying Mull's got a ding there. I didn't see it, so I'll have to keep an eye on for that one. It was going mental in the meeting on the sideline. Mannion looks fine, standing up, right leg again. As the referee grabs himself, or the coach, Nathan Jones grabs himself a bottle of water. After that tirade, James McLean, and I guess that's why the chorus of boos is going on, is because he's on the ball, looking for Mullen. Doesn't get it past Edwards Green. Cleworth all by himself. Nervy one. Back to Ogonko and had Campbell with his pace chasing after it, and all Ogonko can do is smash it out of play. Charlton's going to get a throw in from their side of half, and Nathan Jones is up again, screaming and yelling. Parkey looks calm in comparison. Hands in his pocket, standing at the sideline. O'Connor, a little bit of a mistouch. McLean has to come back and save him. Mullen goes down, and we gets a free kick. Oh, that was Palmer that went down. I missed what happened. So Mitchell's beside himself thinking that that's given. I didn't see anything. I just saw a black jersey getting going. Cleworth with it, right side. I'm just going to hit the pause button here on my mic for mute for a second. I got both boys up, and I got nobody with them. So just, Brendan, you might want to jump in here for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Thompson with it.
Right side.
There you go.
Going to be a throw in here. Rathbone with it. Back to Cleworth. Now Rathbone. Oh, nutmegs him. Makes him. Oh, geez, I'm way ahead of you guys. I forgot. I'm sorry. How am I going to stall this? I watched the game a little further ahead so I can prep stuff for Sean. Here he comes back.
All right. Sorry about that one. Barney had it over on the right-hand side over against Edwards, and this is going to be, 20 yards away? Oh, I thought that was going to be a throw for us as I came over. Mind you, I only saw half of the screen as I was sitting my backside back down. It has been a decent game. At least both sides have had their chances. I'd say Charlton probably I haven't looked at the stats. Let's do that while we're dealing with some time here. 60%, 40% expected. The XG is, I know you love that stat, John, only at 0.15 and 0.21, but we've had 4 shots for them, 2 on target. We've had 2, none on target. So James McLean is shaking somebody's hand. Some people are upset. Doherty's over
Ref
talking
is
to
going
Nathan.
off. They're switching refs.
Are they switching refs?
Yeah.
All of the equipment being swapped over. So we will have some added time to this one. I'm just going to take a look at the table here while we've got a break leading up into the half. I know W&G has been given the scores. We still have Wickham up 1-0. Yes, we do. Huddersfield also up 1-0. So that's against Exeter City. And so I'd prefer that one to be a draw. Both teams lose points, but we'll see what happens there. Reading played earlier and eked out a 1-0 win at home against Bristol Rovers. So that's good enough for them. Now they're at 12 points or 22 points after 12 matches paid. An interesting question, David. Who do the refs get paid pro rata? I don't know. I know, John. Foster, how are you? Scratching your head on what you've missed. You've missed a referee injury, got completely wiped out by Rathbone. No, Rathbone ran past him and took his leg out a little bit. It wasn't much of a contact, to be fair. Just brushed him, but he folded, he flopped. And so they're subbing out. They've already got an injury, used up their window as Edmonds Green had to come on. We had a crazy goal over from a TOC. No, it was a Barney entry. TOC entry? No, it was a TOC entry on a set play. And it came low, flat, and hard and bounced off of Coventry and off of the keeper and in. And then we've had, it is going to be like 20 minutes of added time. And then we've had their goal. Too many touches in the box when they've been moving forward. I haven't looked up what the touches in the box actually is. And they found a really nice goal from Gillespie off of a long switch, a long searching ball from the left side over to the right. And Gillespie was there to put that one forward. Touches in the box. Is that a stat that FOTMob does, or is it one that SofaScore does? Yeah, I just ran in front of it, didn't it? Touches in the opposition box, 7-2 right now for Charlton. All right, we got a new official. Has a referee ever booked themselves for time wasting? I'm asking for a friend.
There's the thing of the match right there.
Oh, I had to go back and collect some stuff. What was that? Sorry, Brennan?
I said there, David's early in for the comment of the match.
Or which one? The
ref
doing better than the rest
themselves for time wasting.
Oh. It's all David's comments so far that have been. Has a ref ever booked himself for time wasting? And we are back underway with the throw in from the left side. There we go. Cleworth heads it over, headed back. We're going over the midfield stripe, playing ping pong. Scar tries to get it to the halfway line, doesn't. Dobson, he heads it forward. Lee, he gets collided into. The ball is moving closer towards the goal, but McLean settles it down and advances it, looking for Mullen, and it's advanced forward. Cleared by Mitchell, and we'll get McLean, who's going to play it. And they're going to get the ball back on a throw-in. Edmonds Green. Seemed to be a fair amount of booze for Mr. McLean. I don't know what that's all about. How much added time added? I'll put that one up here as we watch this one. I could probably do that during a break. With control, Scar now gets it over to Cleworth Barney over on the right-hand side. Barney looks to advance it forward to find Palmer, and it's a little bit too far, and it's easily collected and cleared. Here comes the pull. Campbell, Cleworth, and they say Cleworth too much hands on on Campbell, so it's given a free kick, and Charlton plays it quickly. How much added time, and what were the options that you wanted there? 5, 7, 10, and 5, 7, 10, and 10 plus. There we go. So now I can get back into it as soon as I find that entry. Start poll. There we go. Throw in from the right-hand side. Edmonds Green going to take this one for Charlton. After bouncing around, ping-balling around, it comes clear and it's over to Coventry, over to the left-hand side. that far right switch into the area has now happened twice. Unsuccessful there as McLean grabs it, and he's got some space. He gets around Anderson, advances it forward, gets grabbed by the jersey, tries to get it up to Lee, and it doesn't. And it was a nice interception. And here comes dangerous. Woo, Dobson fakes a shot. It's deflected, and Ogonko able to grab that one. A dangerous opportunity again on the giveaway, and well played. Charlton coming quickly. Oh, a miss hit, and it's going to go to Mullen. No, it doesn't. Mitchell's able to get over there as Gillespie off the back of his head. Palmer, he collects it. Palmer now with it. Finds Barney. Lots of space, 18 yards area. Oh, and he bangs it off of his back. It's still there for Lee. Punched away by Mannion. Barnett with it again, 18-yard box. He had more space. I'm surprised he didn't get that entry in. That's very rare with Barney with that much space, but he gets this in, and it's too far. Straight through and over top. When was the last time you've seen Barney miss one like that? That's been a while. He's human. He's human. Wow, everybody's going for the 10 minutes of added time, eh? Mannion looking to get us back underway. Pings off of Cleworth's face on a deflection, and it ends up being taken over by Charlton, but Cleworth able to grab it again. And it's Ogonquo. McLean, O'Connor. Lots of space, advances it all the way up. Ooh, a heavy first touch there, and so it's stepped up into by Doherty, and he knocks it out for a clearance, and we'll have to reset. That was one of those dangerous stabs, wasn't it? Where if he didn't get that right, he's going to end up into the legs of a player and taking a nasty yellow card. But as it turns out, nothing much coming from it, and TOC grabs it and advances it far down the pitch. No need to apologize, Giselle, but for everybody that's there, feel free. You can hit that join button down below, and for $1 a month, what do you get? You get you can use the emojis. You support us. Not asking for a lot, asking for a little. And so if you get the chance and hit the join button, go ahead and do that. And I'm curious. I don't think he got. I have to go back through. I didn't think he got a lot of games with Manchester United. I thought it was mostly just as. Oh, he did. He started 3. Well, that was his academy time. No appearances I've got with Man U, but he did play Premier League with Leicester, of course. Cleworth with it. Dancing around as Palmer, and he just gets it around 2 guys and maintains possession, draws it forward to Cleworth. Max with it, advances it forward, offside. Yeah, flag goes off. Mullen took the shot anyway. In hockey, that would have ended up in fisticuffs. There would have been a meeting to discuss that shot that came after the whistle.
A chip shot, no. If you blasted it at the keeper, yes.
I think any entry to goal, Brendan disagrees with me and thinks that if we would have blasted it, yes. But hello from Honduras, Glenda. I think we've had Honduras before, haven't we?
We have Honduras.
We have Honduras, yes. Wow. The biggest crowd since their playoff game in 2019. Biggest regular season crowd in over a decade. Wow. They're only here for Wrexham. And it's been a fun one. Added time, 10 minutes. So for those who, 33% of you hit that one right in the poll, as we will be here for a while. Long ball forward. Palmer with the chase on. Gets stepped in front of and nothing given there. And they give the foul to us. Kind of an interesting call from the referee is Palmer was chasing it down to the goalkeeper. The ball was essentially away by the time that the collision occurred. But Palmer, and it was a question, did Mitchell cut intentionally off Palmer? And that would have been an interference call in hockey rather than a foul the other way. But as it was here, they say that Palmer hit him late, I guess. All 10 of us were correct. Good for you. I wouldn't have... we're to the point where we're calling the extra time. I think that's awesome. We need to start having betting odds. I need to get a gambling license as I'm spitting my Nickerettes out again. It has, I wouldn't say it's settled down. Whoa, what was that? Holy, I don't even know what Dan Scar was trying to do there. It was a long ball in the middle of the pitch. You would have anticipated it just be an easy header away, but I think he tried to flick it backwards to Ogonkwo, and instead with a player behind him. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate those as well. And so I don't know if he thought Ogonkwo was going to come and grab it. I don't know if he was trying to head it towards him. I wouldn't have deflected it towards goal. Player coming in behind, pacey to go and collect it, and it's fortunate, I think, that just went wide, and they're going to get a corner off of an awkward one. Left-footed or right-footed in-swinger from the left side, high, far post, and it's down, thumped, and hard, but high and over. There we go. Dye spoke to a Leicester supporter about Matty James and said he was great, but got injured a lot. So, well, he's only here for a couple of months, I guess, unless he stays healthy. And there's Giselle adding herself as she said she was and joining in. Get that nice little icon next to your name. It says you're a supporter. Displayed on the front of the channel. You get the increase to the emojis that you can use. And Ogonkwo back under restart. Still 7 minutes left in the first half. Scar with Campbell, the chase on. So much pace. So much pace from Campbell. Palmer to Mullen. Mullen, he gets grabbed by the arm, but he continues through, and that's what I want to see. No flop, keep going. So Barnett with it now. 19 yards, cross into the area. Lee tries to knock it down, can't. McLean puts it back into the area. It's there. Palmer not able to get the head on it. It's going to get cleared by Charlton. I like that. Touches in the box. Give me more. Back into the area. Mullen, I missed the header, and so it bounces harmlessly, and Mannion calls off the defenders and grabs it. That's probably true. The better Red Horde commentators during the women's matches. That would be Deandra and Brendan, for the record. All good, Aaron. We'll take it. Anyway, people want to support the channel. I'm just happy that people are enjoying it mostly. And then also with throwing a little bit of stuff in his Campbell, usually over on the left side, comes all the way over on the right, and then a bad pass backwards, and he gives away possession. Good for us. David, do you have some sort of AI going, or is this just you, man? Like, that is the... Well, how do I create the perfect emoji for a groin tap? Nuts hammer. Frame it and put it in the Louvre. We're going to need you, David, to sign up and be color commentator. I think your barbs would be gold. Barnett with it, right-hand side, 9 yards away, looking to get it across, gets it in. Too close. Mannion grabs it. Love it, though. She is the best. Every game is at the half, and now it's just us. And thanks, Jeannie, for signing up. It's always a frustration, right? Why? Why do they do their job? Stopping the ball. Can't forget producer B. And if you want to see Deandra and Brendan, they're here tomorrow for the Cardiff Met match, an important one for two teams sitting at 3 points, looking to try and fight their way to get into the top four. And if they're going to make a move, you'd think they got to how to do it early. All the way back, Mitchell, halfway line, extended possession, but just given away right to Dobson. Easiest interception that he's going to ever have. And now it's to Barney. Barney chipping it up over top, too heavy for Mullen, and it's easily collected and lands at the feet of the goal scorer, Coventry. I'm cheap enough, Aaron. I'll take points any way we get them. Any way we get them. Campbell, Cleworth, shoulder charge. Ref says that's fine. Interestingly, I thought that was heavy first with the ball at his feet, but we'll take it as we've got control. And TOC has it. And he goes to try and find Ogonkwo. Can't. Gets taken away by a player, and it's a nice little switch. Well done. That was O'Connor to Scar to Cleworth, and Cleworth with it now. Advances up to Barnett, who's come back in support. Barnett got to put a switch on, doesn't he? Yes, TOC with it, and McLean comes back as an outlet, and away we go. Halfway line. TOC fills the space in the middle, and O'Connor with it. Advances up to Palmer at our feet for an extended period as we play through the middle of the pitch. Who are we? And a heavy touch by Barney on a tough pass from Palmer, and it's cleared out. Thanks, Jeannie. How many goals left in this one? 0-1-2. I'll put that one in for the second half once we get to the end here. We'll do the next 2 minutes, and then I'll throw that poll up there. Throw in, Cleworth, just inside halfway line. Whistle blows. I don't know. Okay, just telling us to hurry up, I guess. Never. No shame in accepting own goals. Oh, can McLean chase it down? He can't, and a giveaway by us. We're trying to play through the middle of the pitch, which I like, even when we have those attempts that go astray. TOC steps in front of it and clears it. Edmonds Green steps up for the throw-in. Steven votes for no more goals. It's going to end in a 1-1 draw. I think that there's been too many touches in the box. Let's scroll down to the stats again just to see, because that's been the big stat for me in this one. 8-5. I know the XG is low, but that many touches, you'd think there's... And here comes Charlton. Nice tackle. Rathbone. All ball. Strips it. Goes the other way. Stop. Four-man charge by Charlton. And here we go on the counterattack as Rathbone goes all the way up. He's got Barney on the right-hand side. No, he's going to go through the middle, and he finds it to Mullen. Mullen gives it to Barney. Barney, 18-yard box, looking to dance. Draws it back to Rathbone. Rathbone, switch has to be on. No. Dobson stabs it forward to Mullen. Mullen getting grabbed onto, and he wasn't pulled. He leaned. He took advantage of the player being there and tried to draw a foul and leaned on the player and went to ground. And the ref said, "What are you doing, Mullen? You can't just lean and fall. The guy's got to pull on you." Scar with it. Mullen with the battle there, heads it out, and it'll be a throw in. Did you see that the same way as I did, Brendan? That was Mullen had the guy there and just tried to take the easy option and draw a foul by leaning into him and going to ground. But yes, that was a nice tackle by Rathbone. The whistle blows. We are finally at the half. Barnett cross in the second half and a pinball header off of Ollie Palmer's arse as a winner. I will take it. Give Barney the assist. Give Palmer a goal. Groin shots, rear shots, whatever works for us, we'll do it. Brendan, sum up that one.
That was so disjointed. Everything about it was just strange. They looked like the better team most of the game. I mean, we had, I think Mullen missed one that he should have done better with. Lee, obviously. But then they had quite a few good chances. I know everyone said, Okonkwo knew that was going to go wide. I don't think you should ever let something go that's hooking in like that. You don't know how much spins on the ball and stuff like that.
Do you think he was edging away from the header coming, and that's why he stayed in the middle of the?
He played. He thought they were going to get it. I thought they were going to get it. Right.
Yeah. So did I.
Don't think he was consciously letting it go, thinking it's not going to go in naturally.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that was trying to anticipate what was coming.
But those are the ones I'd want him to step out and get. Like I don't know how much time he has to read where that's going to be, but
that one he certainly could have got. The Gillespie one, I don't know. Kim says there was some grabbing and some pushing that allowed Gillespie to get there. I didn't see enough for it to be a foul going the other way. And I don't think Ogonko could have got out to get there. Do you think that there's a way that we could have defended that, or was that just
on the header?
That was a good goal.
No,
on the header.
No. If you watch back, that's way too far away for Ogonko to do anything. There were 4 bodies bunched up, and the Charlton player was the last player. He pushes McLean in the back, really sends him, leaving himself wide open to control that header. And they kind of allow that stuff, like it's not something that they call. And it was a good long header, the same thing that Mullen does, where they aim for the far back post, and drop it in.
Yeah, the stats on this one, I don't know if you wanted to bring those up and we can go through them. Halftime will still be the same length, so we're going to be here a little bit longer than normal with the referee going down and with Edmonds Green having to come in as an early sub. But interesting when you go through the stats there, John's favorite stat, the XG has us 0.01 ahead. So as far as, which I find interesting when they have 3 shots on target and we have none, that our XG is higher than theirs. But when you say which team was playing better according to the XG stats, it's us. Not necessarily what I saw with the eyes. And really that's because of, to be fair, the second part of the first half, we played better with the touches in the opposition box, but 8-5, the difference there. Going through things, so total shots 6-3, no shots on target, and as Kim often says, you can't score if you don't get shots on target. Got to ask Manny to get the save. 3 on target for them. The accurate passes 115 and for us 140 for them, both at 65% accuracy. A little bit below what our season average is for them, pretty much on target for these, maybe just a tad low for them. Fouls committed 7-5, and then you go through the rest of the stats. The XG as far as open play, us higher than them and them higher than us on set play. I find it fascinating because we scored on the set piece and they scored on open play. Passes, accurate passes, we've gone through that. Both players not really doing the center back pass about. That's the one thing that is as disjointed as the match was. Both teams looking to get on the front foot. Can we talk Paul Mullen?
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about flopping, and I don't care if it's on our own teammate is doing it and we benefit from it. I don't like it. I think it's garbage. I understand they think it. Most people think it has a place in the game. I don't. I think you're far better off just trying to win the ball and fight hard. You'll get calls, probably more often if you do that.
Well, and I think if you try to play through it, the referees know whether you go to ground earlier or whether and easy or whether you're somebody who plays through it. And so they're probably more likely to give it to you if you ever wanted to draw the odd one, the once in a blue moon type stuff. The foul he did draw, I think that one was legitimate. Like the player reached over top of his shoulders and reefed him to the ground. That second one, though, I think he was trying to milk it, and it didn't work.
No, it does not. Other than that missed shot by Lee, which was a good blast, and I understand you can't hit everything, and hitting the crossbar is pretty close. It's not like he whiffed on it. He did have a lot of room there, but I mean, truthfully, that's maybe the only time I've seen him touch the ball all game. Like, I see Rathbone touching it. I see, just about every other player on the pitch engaged and touching the ball. And I don't know where Lee is. I'm not seeing him touch the ball. Seeing a lot of Rathbone.
He had a couple of handles on the left-hand side where he was touching the ball, but it was often just advancing it to McLean or drawing it back to TOC. There were a couple innocuous touches, necessary touches, but I'm with you. And I'm with Kim here that Marriott would or at least should be starting, if not for the injury. I'm still in that camp. I'm a massive fan of Paul Mullen, and I still think that with the back injury that he's going to get better as the season progresses, assuming we don't run him into the ground. I just wish to see a little bit more bite in his game, as in not looking to draw things, but recognizing he's not getting those calls. It's been 3-4 games now where the refs aren't buying what he's selling. And so if that's the case, you might as well strap up and carry on through. They're just showing that replay. And
yeah.
Interesting that McLean doesn't really object.
No plans to sign a player to replace Marriott. We signed 2 players, Jay. Just on Friday, right?
Yeah, so Sci-Fi, Bodfordson is in and signed. He's been training up in, I believe, back in Iceland, where Matty James was training with Leicester. And so they may not be entirely match fit ready, but I don't think that they're too far away. It's not like free agent signings that have been sitting at home on the couch watching watch-alongs. Not insulting your guys' fitness for those of you that are watching me. But I think they'd wrap up pretty soon. I really do want to see Bodfordson because I'm curious with he seems to be a guy, from what I see in the stats and from what I saw trying to research why he didn't sign with Bolton, as a player who's got vision, not necessarily goal scoring prowess, but vision. And so I'm interested to see him. And obviously Matty is a class center fielder from everybody's report. So we'll see what happens there. Not Finland, Iceland. And so, and really from Bolton, because that's where he was for an extended period. I think he had 77 games or something silly like that for Bolton. And he was one of the players who I was surprised didn't stay with them last year. So I didn't know the story there.
So what do you think with Fall being on the bench and no other forwards on the bench, right? Matty James is a midfielder. So what is the sub? Is the Fall for Palmer? And
it's Fall for Palmer. And then as you get into the 83rd, 84th, 85th minute, it's Revan coming in for Mullen, Revan staying on the wing, and McLean moving up. And I think that's what you do. Certainly do that if we're up one. And then you're leaving largely Mo by himself up front, and McLean sort of playing almost as a midfielder rather than as a forward.
He's not having any impact that I'm seeing right now. He's not threatening. He's, like
when you say he, you're speaking of
Mullen. We gotta, he's got to stop flopping. He's got to try making some runs, timing runs, because he gets called off sides a lot.
And I guess the only strike and opportunity that he really had was the free kick that he drew himself, which he lifted far over the goal. Was there any other chances that he had that I'm missing, forgetting?
No.
You want to jump?
Do you think would a coach or another player say enough with the flopping BS? Stay on your feet and win the effing ball. Like, isn't that? Would you expect Parky to say something like that? It looks like someone needs to say that to him.
Well, I mean, yes, I would see. I would anticipate it in. It depends on the coach, right? I mean, I can only draw connections to Craig Berube in hockey. He wouldn't stand for any of that, and he'd take players straight to task. I don't know if Parky's going to have that conversation with Mullen. I don't know if it happens in football. In hockey, it would happen all the time, right? And I guess depending on the personality of the coach, do I think Parky's going to take on Mullen and say, change your game and stop doing what you're doing? Maybe. I'd like to see it. I mean, at some point in time, it becomes a distraction because, like, you look at that second pull down, we advance the ball forward after a large buildup through the middle of the pitch. You get a ball into Mullen. He's got it coming towards him. Yes, he's got a defender behind him, but instead of trying to do a thing, he elected to go to ground and try and draw it. And I just hate that as the election. It was in his head to go and do it. It had to have been 100%. And what happened? Nothing. He went to ground and they just grabbed the ball and kicked it the other way. And the opportunity is lost.
There's no pressure. If he keeps fighting for that, they scramble. Maybe they don't clear it out well. We're coming forward. We get it. We get another opportunity. When he flops, there's no pressure. They just collect the ball. They were like, there was nothing to worry about there. And then they take their time and they set up a play going the other way.
Even if it's a 1 in 20 chance.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 1 in 20 chance there that the ball squirts free on his feet and he gets an opportunity at goal, you keep building up on those 1 in 20 chances over time, and then it happens. And 0% of the time are you going to be successful with that sort of attempt to lean back on a player and go to ground. I just think the odds of the likelihood of a call and getting a free kick from that spot versus the fighting through and taking it. And if
when do you think it's the last time that he embellished one of those that wouldn't have got called if he didn't embellish it, right? Like today's one, he embellished the flop back, but he was getting pulled. So it looked like it's a reasonable, that would have been a valid call.
I haven't seen it at all in League One.
What?
I haven't seen it at all in League One. Whether it's the quality of the refs is improving, so they're able to discern the difference between a flop and a foul.
League Two? I remember he used to get them way too much in the National League.
In the National League, yeah. There was that penalty, and I'm trying to remember who it was, and it was actually a referee that we had earlier. Was it FGR? As I'm closing my eyes and I'm picturing it, it was on the left-hand side, and it wasn't at the Kairas, and it would have been in February-ish of last year. It may have been FGR.
Huh.
And I think that was a flop, and we got a penalty out of it. And I think I have to go back to that far. But in League One, it hasn't happened. And in fact, he's getting admonished by the referees more than anybody else. Like, they're literally sitting there and pointing at him and doing the get up. Like,
yeah.
It's clearly to me as a layperson watching, it's not working. And somebody, if you're in the comments and you disagree, if you're over on Twitch or you're on Twitter and you disagree or you agree, come on over to YouTube and jump into the chat and let us know. I'll go to the table in a second. While we're at the half, just a friendly reminder, all of these watch-alongs brought to you ad-free by Ultimate Promotions, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. You can get there either way. If you're looking for pins, sport trading, you've got a club you want to arrange, you've got for work or for whatever hobby that you have, they will do these as the players are starting to make their way out to the pitch. So we'll get through this quickly. These are the pressed pins. They will do a soft enamel, a hard enamel. They will make your medals for you, your badges, 48 years of service, free artwork, free shipping. Coordinate with them. ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. Jumping to the table really quickly, Birmingham, as we already know, played earlier, and they ended up in a draw with Mansfield Town. So Mansfield sitting just behind us. Wickham already up 2-0. So they've gained their points. They've got a game in hand, and they're securing themselves into second place. Who would have thunk it at the start of the season, and certainly after the first game? And then we've got we've got Huddersfield still up 1-0 on Exeter City. I'd prefer to see a draw in that one, but I guess Huddersfield and Exeter, that would put them 2 losses in a row if this was to happen and move them down to 9th. Reading already had their match earlier. They beat Bristol Rovers, and so they're sitting at 6, having played 12 games. And then Barnsley, 2-0 over Shrewsbury, looking to climb back in to try and get into the playoff spots. Other than that, lots of draws in the middle. Lincoln, Charlton with us, Peterborough, Stevenage, Bolton, all sitting there even at 17, 18 points. And then you start to get into the drop, right? Bristol Rovers at 13 games played, sitting at 16. Northampton, Blackpool, Rotherham still can't find a way to eke out points as they set 0-0 with Stevenage. Go all the way through, and you've got the teams at the bottom. Burton in a draw, Shrewsbury lost, Cambridge in a draw, Crawley lost, Leighton lost. So the struggle continues at the bottom. 6 it was. Now it looks like 5. And that's largely because Northampton is up 2-0 in their battle at the bottom or up 3-0 now. Mullen doesn't have 100 minutes in him. So, yeah, I'm going to go up because I think John gave his perspective and I must have missed it on. I really agree with you regarding the floppy. I was saying that last season too. Foster always says, I told my players they were in the lineup to play, not to flop. Lee up front over McLean, Maka in Lee's spot. Okay, so John largely thinking similar to me that we've got to have somebody not playing in the striker position. He goes with Lee up front over McLean. Maybe, John, it depends on where we sit at the half. If we're looking, or at near the end of the game, if we're looking for a goal, I'm with you, Lee. If we're sitting there even while away or we're ahead, I would see McLean over Lee. But we'll see how that one happens. But yeah, Revan, I think, has to make an appearance today. So we'll see. But yeah, Revan's the definite today. And we've got a window, taking advantage of the window sub here as who is this coming on? I'm all over the place. Mobile striker, he's defined. Miles Lieburn makes his way in.
What do you got? Started?
I haven't started yet. So whistle blows and we're underway. Charlton going from left to right on your computer screen. Wrexham from right to left, and it's advanced all the way forward. And too much physical contact from Lieburn on Scar. Foul given. TOC going to take it. No, Ogonko is. So that's 2 more subs available for the bad guys, 3 for the good guys. Had to waste it 1 early. 4 minutes in, Watson went out for Edmonds Green as Ogonko gets us underway again. Sometimes I make good points. They're rare, but every once in a while. Ooh, Deandra asking for a 30-minute start for Fallen Revan. I don't even know if I would be that ambitious, even if I was. I mean, Parky, I agree with you. Certainly not going to. But I don't know if we've seen enough from Fall to justify 30. Revan, certainly. I've enjoyed watching Revan, and Barney tries to get it past the defender, but it gets cleared out, and so we'll get a throw in 25 yards out, thrown towards Mullen, stays on his feet. And it's scrambled by Charlton and sent forward, and TOC able there to sit there and collect. David Wood says, I'm getting old. He remembers Lieburn's dad, Carl, also playing for Charlton. Palmer tries to get to it, deflects around, collects pinball. Charlton has it, and it gets it over to the sub. Edmonds Green up towards Lieburn, who's got Cluworth on him, knocks it down, and he's playing the Palmer role of, he is a big body. Jesus. Like, he's monstrous compared to Scar. Campbell scares the pigeons away as he gets towards the goal line and nicely picked. Well, Barnett thought that was going for a corner. Or Barnett thought that was going for a goal kick, so he left it and rolled off, or he was pulled back and didn't really push for it. Anyway, we'll have a corner for Charlton early on. Be curious to see the question is on that one to Barney, whether he thought that was going to be a foul because he was pulled back, or whether he thought it was legitimately going to go for a goal kick. In any event, Barry right-footed in swinger, and it's going to be this. Whatever this is a play means flat and played short, and it's cleared away. So we'll look for this one before it looks to be like it's going to be a flat one. Going to look at Sofa Score to see what the I better come back to it. Campbell with it, 18-yard box. Oh, sneaks through two. Shot near side. Algonquo, not an easy stop, and he makes it. That's one of those dangerous ones. Whoa. Palmer just gets grabbed and taken out, and Edwards is screaming at him, but that's like the third time where Edwards has grabbed somebody, pulled him down, ends up wiping somebody out, and he comes up incredulous every single time. Yay. Thanks, Sci-Fi. Hugging is caring. Yes. There has been a lot of caring so far today. Scar's still waiting to get us underway here. Black jerseys stepping slowly, moving forward, and here comes. It's long down the left-hand side. McLean got ahead on it and just almost knocked enough off of it. Mullen trying to go and take a stab at it, and it gets taken over, and it's cleared by Charlton Athletic towards the middle of the pitch. Knocked down by Scar, going to be a header. We're running to go and grab it, and I actually thought that was off of Scar's head, so I'll take it. I'm either wrong or we got the benefit of a bad call. Either way, I like possession for us, and Ogonquo gets it as they look to play it back through the feet. Cleworth goes to the air. Long searching ball for Palmer. Headed away. Gillespie goes up, and very rare for somebody to go over top of Palmer and get a header on it, and it's battled through. Cleworth gets it to Lee. Lee, left-hand side, advancing it. 30 yards away. McLean with it now. Lee looking to wrap around him on the left side. It's played forward to you. A little bit slow to O'Connor. He grabs it and gets it to Dobson. That wasn't Dobson. That was Rathbone. Hey, Rob. I'm glad you found the channel too. And I assume you meant Liverpool fan, Wrexham fan? Unless there's a band called Liverpool and I don't know about it, which someone can extol all the virtues if there is one. But I'm glad you found it. Welcome. Yeah, Huddersfield up 2-0. The draw in that match slipping away. So that'll be Huddersfield looking at like they're lining themselves up for 3 points at Exeter's expense. And I think that's 3 losses in a row for Exeter. No, 2 in a row. Rathbone collects, given away on a pass forward. Diagonal, Scar gets it forward to McLean. McLean tries to get it to Lee, and it's stabbed away. And here comes Charlton. Missed the pass forward to the substitute Lieburn, and it gets pounded down and just rolls out for a throw-in. Edwards enjoying the Lee Harvey Oswald defense. Not a patsy or a pansy. Gotta like your center backs with an edge anyway. Want them playing on the line a little bit, don't you? McLean with it, left side. He's got O'Connor in front. Instead, defers to Lee on the left side. 35 yards out. Lee to O'Connor, who's stepped all the way up. Bounces around off a Charlton player, and Lee's able to collect it. Now it's left there for Rathbone. Is he going to take another crack? He does. Oh, called on the keeper, Mannion, to go to the right-hand side. Don't know if Mullen could have got a foot on that. And I think it was one of those balls that it was a 3-quarter shot, 1-quarter pass. And Mannion had to come out and make the save. McLean looking towards the middle. Palmer getting grabbed onto. Ball squirts loose. Mullen is there, collects it. A little bit quick, and if he had a quicker reaction, might have been able to stab that and had himself an opportunity, but instead still possession for us. Sniffing around the 18-yard box. Lee leaves it, finds O'Connor on the run. He's into the 18-yard box. Left-hand side, pass, deflected out, and it's going to go for a corner. I am liking this as Wickham looking to secure their 3 points as they're up 3-0 on Leyton Orient. We need points. We need points. We need points. Well done on coming out of the half. And no, we're not, are we? You look at that one. I mean, it looks like an easy save for Mannion going on the ground over to the far post. But you see those go in as well. There's the right footed from Lee, and it's dangerous, but it's headed away. That was a good header, and McLean picking himself up off the ground on that one as it lands to Campbell, dances by Dobson, and then cleared out by Rathbone. And is that going to be a yellow? Yeah, it's already out. An obvious yellow for that one. And yes, Wickham, leave some goals for the rest of us. That's a good shout, David. Clueworth time. We'll get that on a corner yet. Ooh, Chris with the bold call. 3-1 Wrexham full time. The poll is up for how many you think. Most people think there's just one in this one. So we'll see if true, somebody's going to go home happy. The long trip, I never looked it up as to how long this trip was, but it's got to be one of the longer ones for the club heading down to London. Mitchell advances it forward. Coventry all the way back, drawn back to Mitchell, and we do for the first time. Really, this has been a center back kickabout as it gets over to the left hand side. Edwards across the halfway line, advances it forward. Nice little pass through the middle to Doherty, who's now in a threatening position. Gets it over left side. Leaper and the big body, right chip advanced and headed, but it's missed, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. Rathbone, I think has been looking good, but that's what we've heard is box to box and put in all the effort. The only thing with his game, he had that one shot, and everybody's always said he doesn't have the offensive side of his game. He truly is box to box in the sense that his magic ends in the final third, and that shot was sort of probably the best we've seen of him. Also the fun of a huge far right march in central London, negotiate on the way through. Yeah. Denise asks for those watching on Paramount Plus through the feed, and I'm just going to come back to the game. It's in the comment there. There's an opportunity, and a dangerous stab at it by Godden. Right footer from about 25, 28 yards away. And was looking for the far right corner as he tried to lift that one home, and off the foot, you're wondering if it's going to end up dropping, but Ogonko left it smartly and it goes over. So Denise asks, how do you pause the Paramount Plus feed for the game? Can't seem to sync it up when watching the watch party. So if anybody has it, feel free to let her know in the comments. John, 400 miles round trip. Dobson, nice header to win that one and get it away, but all he ekes is a little bit of time as it's now collected through the center backs, and it's going to be Edwards who moves it forward, bounces around, and then back onto the feet of Charlton again. We're getting in front of the ball with interceptions and disruptions, but it seems to just be landing on their feet as they're looking for Leaper. They like those far crosses from just inside the halfway line, as this time they went from the right to the left. Lee up to McLean, left-hand side, 35 yards out, 30 yards out, up to Mullen, 25 yards out, over to McLean, back to Mullen, into Palmer, into the area, and he tried to draw it back to Lee, and it hit a defender, and it's going to get cleared. Scar. Dangerous. He was looking up to try and find stuff with Charlton players. It's attacking over top of the ball, but he calmly ends up grabbing that one. Nervy is the center back, because if they end up freeing that one, we're on a breakout going the wrong way. It's not far right. It's very diverse. All good, Denise. I hope you're able to figure it out as it goes into the 18-yard area. The entry not cleared easily. Dobson tries to get to it, does. Leaper and gets it and knocks it back to Dobson, who scrambles it back to Scar, and it's forward to Dobson. Dobson and Rathbone putting in time. Now we need the forwards to go. Lee up to Palmer. Palmer over to McLean. McLean looking for the entry into the box. He's taking on his man. That's Edwards Green. Left. It's there. Flat. It's far post. Misses everybody. And Barney raises his hand, suggesting he was grabbed by Campbell as it just rolls past everybody. And Campbell breaks out down the left-hand side before holding up and waiting for the red jerseys to collect with him. Can't pause it on Paramount. If anybody learns... No slider on it, eh? I'm the most Canadian statement ever. No slider on it, eh? Oh, yeah, boys. Having ourselves a nice game of kickoff out here. Left-hand side, Edwards with it. Edwards gets it back, Gillespie, and there's that far sweeping cross over to the other side, looking for Leaper and misses everybody, and Ogonko is going to have himself a goal kick. And Mullen talking to the ref about jerseys pulling. Well, I mean, you know what? To be fair, watching that on the replay, Gillespie did grab him by the jersey. I don't think he was the player he had a play on the ball. But Gillespie grabbed him by the bottom of the jersey and pulled him back. More curious about the Barney interaction on the other side is, that squirts past Lee, but he's able to save it and get it over to McLean on the left-hand side. He continues on to the left. McLean, does he give it to him? He does. Left-hand side, 18-yard box. Lee taking on his man. McLean looped around, but instead it's drawn back to Dobson. Lee, left-hand side. Taking on Edwards Green, goes towards the goal line, crosses there. It's knocked down. Oh, it was played down by Lee to try and leave it there for Barney, but it just gets cleared away from his feet. And here comes Campbell the other way. He's got Rathbone on him, sorry. And TOC, well done, just steps in front of Lieburn and goes wide. Stay up there, TOC. Scorer on your interception. Let's call it. There it is, far post. Palmer. Oh, it was off of his head. Goes out for a corner as Palmer had it on his head and tried to get it towards goal, and instead it's going to go out wide. That was well set up, and all from a TOC picking the pocket of Lieburn and going the other way. So here's TOC. If this is a signal, this is what we're doing. Left-footed in-swinger from the right-hand side. All the big guys are forward. Max Cluworth time, and the whistle blows. Stern talking to upcoming. Dan Scarr. Edmonds Green. You two behave yourselves. Can't have any of that. Hugging is not caring. And we're back. All right, TOC, left-footed in-swinger. 60-minute mark just passed. Here it comes. It's high, far post. Oh, it was there. Max had an opportunity. The goal was there. The collection, I thought that was close enough. You would have expected a keeper to punch that away, but instead it comes down and Max not able to get, he was up in the air, just not able to make contact. Would like to see that one on the replay to see exactly what happened, because that was a dangerous one. Edmonds Green draws it back to Mannion. W&G always there with the score updates, and it's been a little bit quiet as of late, so people settling in before they get towards the 90th minute chaos. Subs are up. Second window for Charlton as they've got two up. Campbell towards the middle. Whoa. Wanted to pull out the driver. Instead, he pulled out the sand wedge, and that one went for a ride straight up. Or got way underneath it. And might have cleared the stadium. I don't know how far that's the Lee something stand over there. I think it's deep enough that it wouldn't have gone over. So one more window left for them as they've got two subs coming in. Godden staying on. Docherty coming off and hands over the band, the captain's band, from Docherty to Godden. And Taylor coming on. And 28, Campbell coming in for Barry. Midfielder. And Ogonko's with it to get us back underway. I'm going to have to hit the reload because my comments, I think, have gone silent. If you're watching over on Twitch or you're watching over on Twitter or X, feel free to jump over to YouTube, youtube.com/TheRedHorde. Join us in the comments by hitting the subscribe button, and the like button is always there. Get it in the parking lot after the game. It was good marking. I thought he had an opportunity. I'd like to see the replay as it comes free. And this is Coventry advancing it forward. Campbell, who I've been impressed with so far this match, gets it back to Coventry, enters into the box. A Scar clearance, puts down Lieber and puts it forward. Deflect, and it's knocked down, and that was Godden. There must be something delicious right in that area of the pitch for the Pigeons because they are comfortably nested to the right side of Ogonko in the box. We've had Barney scare him away once, but those four not bothered by all the madness. How many points do you get for a conversation in this game? Not enough. Why? Would we be getting more? Should we be getting more? Or should Charlton be getting more? Oh, that's questionably a foul as Mullen had him boxed out. And I guess if the referee's not going to give it one way, he doesn't give it the other way as Rathbone takes it back and then it just bounces out for a throw-in. So that was, I thought, too much physical contact on Mullen, and to his credit, he stood on his feet. Foul not given, and then Rathbone goes the other way. And I thought too much physical contact by him, but not called. And so the referee seeming to let them play in the air as TOC sweeps it over to McLean. I haven't noticed it, Foster. I think the standard has been kept fairly much the same. Nothing egregious stepping out as Ogonko comes out, and well done, him and Scar communicating. Scar saying, come out and take that, please. And Ogonko obliges. Leaves it there, throws it down for Scar, and he's going to grab it and thump it down the pitch. Long, looking for McLean. No, Palmer. Palmer heads it towards Mullen. Mullen, well done, sir. That's got to be a thank you. Mullen fought to stay on his feet, fought through being grabbed, went forward, and then ultimately got taken down. Legitimately, he goes to ground and he gets the call. That is what I want to see. Put the fight and bite into it, and you'll get it. I'm with John, too. I do think it has been well reffed. TOC with it. He's one man in the wall. We're a healthy 35 yards away, 30 yards away, left-footed, looking for a head. Going to go far post. Manny in there, too far, and tried to get headed back into the area, did Scar. McLean getting a yellow card for protesting, and I don't know what the protest was there. Mark thinking that should have gone for a corner, I guess, or maybe a foul. I mean, he hasn't been calling those all the way through, and he went out of play, so it couldn't have been. It was off our foot, so it wouldn't have gone for a corner. So I'm guessing they're saying it was because Scar was taken out. But to be fair, they've allowed a lot of physical contact in the challenges. We were just talking about it minutes ago. Wouldn't that have been a 2-month sub bringing in Gareth Bale? Oh, well, never coming. Heavy touch. TOC loses control of it to the sub. And I didn't write down the numbers, so I don't know which one's which. As that's Alan Campbell. Ooh, they dangerously worked it down, and Campbell got it over to Lieber, and Lieber not able to play it. It's pumped out. And here comes Alan Campbell. Alan Campbell on the right. Tyrese Campbell on the left. Fletcher had to get injunctions. Man, how do you know I do litigation? Injections into his knee as Charlton just outside the area, moving it forward. Alan Campbell gets it forward, bouncing it around. Tyrese Campbell with it now, left side. The Pigeons scramble. Lee and immediately return back to their position. Dobson with the tackle. Holy cow. Mark him up with 2. Those are like 2 exceptional tackles. And Charlton able to collect it and clear. Lieberman, that's going to be a foul and potentially a yellow. The yellow comes out. Stabbed the leg out. Got Lieberman turned Scar stabbed out and wiped out his legs. Probably a necessary one, because if he didn't take him out, Lieberman was going to be straight in. And anybody baseball fans here remember when I think it was Randy Johnson, he threw that pitch and hit a pigeon or a dove that a bird lost its life that day taking a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. And you wonder if the same thing is going to happen. Of the 4 pigeons that have been nesting there in that same area, only one confident enough to remain, and it's gone dark. 19 yards out, right side of the D, right in line with the post to the left of Ogonkwo. 4 on the wall, 2 on either side. Now it's a 5-man wall as Rathbone slides over, and it's going to be an attempt here as it's right-footed option. And they called on Ogonkwo, who's there. It went right between the wall where Ogonkwo was standing. He had just puts his hands up and pushes it up over top. And it was Randy Johnson who exploded a bird with a fastball. That cross that came in earlier where those 4 pigeons scrambled, I thought, are we going to end up with a deflection off of a pigeon that's going to influence the direction of the ball? Terry Taylor with it, going to be a right-footed in-swinger. It's cleared away by Palmer as that was in a dangerous territory right in the middle. Well done by Palmer to get there. And Dobson, we've got a break. Possible 2-on-2. Barnett on the left. Mullen on the right. 3rd jersey back. Barney still looking. Gets across forward. He tried to get to Mullen, but it was stepped in front of. Welcome from Brazil. How can it be poor when they're in the World Series? A pigeon. That's a call. Deandra gets a nominee. Can you imagine? Assist a pigeon. There's been some golden comments in this one. Cannon coming in. Aaron Wood, Wrexham 2-1, goal 1, own goal, goal 2, pigeon. Rally cap time. Oh, man. I don't have my toque. And I gotta... Oh, I do have my toque. I'll slap it on over top. What the hell? It's been a while. Oh, man. Palmer, nice throw from McLean, and he beats the one man he's got. He just ran out of space and ran out of time, but we were able to collect it. Lee has it, gets it over. Put it on now. We're going to score right here. Cannon over to Barney. Serve it up. I'm calling it. Cuts inside, has Campbell, spins, turns around the other way. 2 pigeons, 3 pigeons. The other 3 have nested on this side. They've swapped sides of the pigeons. Lieber not able to get that. It goes straight out, and it's going to be played quickly. McLean grabs it off the throw and off of O'Connor. I know, such foul comments cheering for the... Rob, where in Yorkshire? My wife is from South Yorkshire. Nice pass to Cannon. Cannon there gets it to Mullen. It's to Cannon. Scores! Woo! Cannon with the chance. Gets it over to Mullen. It comes off of Mullen's attempt and lands back on Cannon's foot. Pumps it in. Put it in. 2-1. Limbs everywhere. Get in, lads. Yoo! The rally cap worked. The toque. Pigeons scrambling everywhere.
Thank God they didn't listen to Sean and only play Rathbone away.
Bad football managing. So Cannon gets the pass into Mullen. Mullen takes the right footer. It bangs off of the defender and right to Andy Cannon, who goes left footer and squeaks it by Mannion. Oh, yeah. And no pigeon was harmed in the making of this lead.
Sean, I have to say, you with that hat on over the headphones is a better look than you and I in the Mullen suits. I got to tell you.
Oh, yeah, it's that good, is it?
It's that good.
Well, I can only bring it in for the last 20, 30 minutes of the game because I sweat through this thing inside. Vamos, indeed, Glenda. Uh-oh, Lieber in the other way, looking for the early answer. Whoa, heavy touch, Ogonko, please. Thank you. Comes out and rescues that. Thomas, now that one prediction is moot, let's get two more. And now that we have the lead, John, let's talk about the subs. Does this mean we do McLean in the striker position rather than Lee? Give him the break when you bring Revan on. Let's see. They brought the tech end to Charlton. Damn right, John. Man, so many good comments on this one. I don't even know where to go. And I got to make all those graphics. When am I going to do that? I feel like I've got too much to do. Oh, just doing something quickly on my phone here. And we'll get into it as Alan Campbell grabs it. It can't be Alan Campbell. Did I get the numbers wrong going the other way? No, 28 is... No, I was right. Man, Charlton away, I like it. Oh, I got lads visiting on this one. I'm working, bud. We've lost complete control of the house after that goal. Mitchell with it, gets it forward to Mr. Campbell. The lads are having a chat. My wife's laughing at me for the toque. Everyone's wondering what I'm doing. Okay, we'll come up here and say hi for a second as we get it forward. Just wear the rally cap. I can do that. Wave to everybody as Tyrese Campbell with it. 18-yard box. Am I going to have to launch my son because he's bad luck? I will do it if I have to. Campbell to Campbell. Advances it forward. And Dobson turns it away. Nice little spin as he goes the other way. Come say hi, Spencer. Go see Mama. It's madness in the house.
Can I tell Dad something?
Okay.
Dad, is there more of these guys?
Charlton, advancing it.
Is there more of these
Okay,
guys?
you're talking too much, boys. You're both going to have to go now. Love you. Go have fun with Mama and play. Sorry, guys. Andy Cannon with it. Grabs it forward. Gets it up to Palmer. Launching 3, 2, 1. That's love for Wrexham. Am I going to have to launch my kid? Because no, he's a baseball. The youngest one is a baseball guy. But yeah, Spencer the eldest, Walter the youngest, and Lieburn had it on and goes out. The eldest is into the arts and stuff. The youngest one, though, if you look at kids and you think, man, that kid has a talent, he can throw. And he pinged off a kid from about 12 feet away with a Macarena in the is that what the Shakers are called? Pinned him off 12 feet at a distance. And then yeah, someone in for me. We are at the 75-minute mark. Yes, we should get some subs. Are they going to do the Charlton away? I like it through the entirety of the match. Well, maybe that should be the poll. How many minutes do we hear Charlton away? I like it. Nice. Well done by Mullen to make that turnover. Get it to Andy Cannon, who gets it forward to Palmer. Palmer dancing around two. And I think he drew that one a little bit. I'd love to get them into it. I tried to get the eldest into it. He's not a fan. The youngest will get his opportunity. The eldest only wants music and dance and singing and acting and piano and all that stuff. Work, I'm Aaron. And I never heard the answer to the question of where in Yorkshire. I missed that one. And John agrees with me. Moles off, Revan and McLean up front. Yes, while taking a 2-1 lead. Let's get another one and make the decision easy, as this was going to be into the area. It's close, far post, and Scar tried to get up there and couldn't. Palmer lands for him, tries to chip it up over top and misses to the right-hand side. Yes. Yes. Well, it's where his interest is. I'm not going to say whether there's a talent there. He's too young to tell, but he loves the videos of him dancing in front of 500 people with his little troupe, and he led the way. Biased dad and all. 77 minutes, 2-1 win. All I hear is Wrexham. It's glorious to hear this. I hope on Paramount Plus you're able. Brennan was talking about how the coverage there that not quite as loud as through Mark Griffith's microphone, but they are in full voice. Charlton 15 shots, Wrexham with 12.
You can definitely hear them today. They're quite loud on Paramount today.
Okay, so Brendan's saying they're quite loud on Paramount today. Brendan's adding his contribution through the chat. Palmer with it. Back to Cannon. Cannon draws it back. What a weird game this one's been. Lots to talk about, I guess, after this one. Oh, nice little play forward to Barney. He's got a gap. Can he split the difference? He's all by himself, but he's had a hole. There's the opportunity, and it's up over top. I will take those all the time, though. You think he could have held that one up, Stephen? Think he could have held that one up and drawn it back? I don't know. I was happy he took the shot at goal. Give himself one. And yeah, it has been a heck of a game. A weird one, a chaotic one, injuries and unique things. And so we've got the Cannon goal with the sub in, and now we'll wait to see what else Parky has in his back pocket, as we still have 2 windows. If we wanted to use them, Mo Fall's got to come on here at some point, especially in a lead. Like, that's a certain, isn't it? And I'd like to see Revan come in, lock it down, leave McLean on to run up front. Cannon with it, cross the halfway line. Right-hand side, he's got Barney with him. Campbell's over there, steps up. He leaves it for Barney. Barney draws it back. Cleworth with it. Yeah, isn't that weird, John? The one game where we were like, we can't hear them. The last match, a little bit quiet, and maybe it was just the mic. I don't know. Palmer with it, dances. Oh, nice little pass forward to Mullen. Mullen, turn it, Mullen. See, that's fight. Still fight. Thank you. Paul with the opportunity. McLean over to Palmer. Play this second half back for Mullen. Play it back. This is exactly what you want from the man. The hard work where he doesn't go to ground. He stays on his feet. He caught a couple of knocks there, but the ball squirts free and almost landed on his feet for a glorious opportunity. Like, those are the things that we want to see, not the easy giveaways because you go to ground and it comes and it's just cleared. McLean, left foot, far post, searching. Barney's there, can't get up. Alan Campbell does, or Tyrese Campbell, sorry, does grab him and hold him. Cannon with it, draws it back. Dobson, left side, going over to McLean. We're still searching for a third. 80th minute coming up. Headed away, keeping the pressure on as we just collected. Dobson knocks it over to Lee. Get a pigeon to score it. We want a pigeon goal. Lee, a little bit of a heavy touch and is given away. Sloppy. Scar has to come over and rescue, and that's got to be a foul the other way. Lieburn pulls down Scar. Are we bringing in subs? I hear a whistle. Largest cloud at Wrexham in years, and all I hear is Wrexham, Wrexham, Wrexham. I love it. Charlton using their last window. Coventry, our goal scorer. He's out. He's had himself a wonderful game. Perfect game for us. And didn't cost us a pound. TOC gets us back underway, headed out, and it goes out, and we're starting to slowly collect the balls here. McLean, TOC says, I'll take it. So McLean leaves it for him. A good 15 seconds off the clock on that one. TOC, long. Mullen tries to backheel it while he's going over, and it goes the other way. Can't not able to get it. Hilton, left side. That's got to be the sub that came in. Danny Hilton, number 14. Nice head away by Cleworth in front of the attacking Charlton player, and it's thumped down the middle of the pitch, and it's Gillespie who grabs it. Little bit heavy, so it's sent the other way, and Mannion has to come out to collect. Coventry is man of the match. Well, we'll put him in as a nominee. I mean, for me, it's Mr. Dobson so far. We'll lay up, and it's danger inside the area, and it's going to be a corner going the other way. Corner left side. If it goes in off of a pigeon, though, they instantly get man of the match. Oh, God. Slowly collecting the balls. Mullen didn't get hit. Going to be a left-footed in-swinger here. Terry Taylor serving it up. Far post. Oh, it's volleyed towards goal and grabbed by Ogonkwo. Dangerous one, which we're fortunate went right exactly where Ogonkwo was. As that went far post and Mitchell goes to ground and gets the volley on goal. Ogonkwo with it. Whistles are going for time wasting, but I don't think Ogonkwo took that long. Goes all the way down to Palmer. Well done. Collects it in his feet. Grabbed by the jersey. Fought through. I think a foul should have been given there. That's the benefit of fighting through. But that pass doesn't work, and instead they advance it all the way forward. That's Hilton now, who came in to try and get something late. They've gone offense, and they've moved Hilton forward with Lieburn. Campbell now with it. Gets it up. Tyrese to Allen. Allen Campbell to Tyrese Campbell. Right-hand side. Got McLean with him. 18 yards, 9 yards away from goal. Cross into the area. Headed. Danger. 3 guys miss it. What? I will take that, as all 3 were there. Lieburn screaming at the official and saying, what the hell? Hey, Julia. Yellow card. .30-minute. He gets up to about a meter away from the referee and is sitting there going like this, trying to get the call. Doesn't get the call, and then he objects to his yellow card. And yeah, I had to bring out the rally cap, and it ended up squeaking out a goal. And you know what? Man, I think he went down a little bit easy. Kluwerth certainly did have a little bit of a grab on, but not much there. Foster, thank you for that. Appreciation to Sean and to Brendan and to the rest of the Horde community. This is my coffee money because you're a better way to start the day. Well done. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. 5 minutes left. We're going to be here after. If you're over on Twitch and you're following us, you're over on X and MoFall lining up to come in. And so Seb. And I think that was 23 that was up. So, 29 that was up. Barney's getting a break. Interesting. So Seb's going to run on the right side. Minutes. Giving him a breather. And so Mo Fall coming in, and he's in for Mullen. Did I see a 10 on that? Oh. And the officials, now there's a protest. He wrote down 10. Did we make a mistake? It had a 10 on the board. The fourth official saying you wrote down 10. Now I get to do a... And Palmer goes to ground. This is interesting. Is he... I assumed it was going to be Palmer for fall. Mitchell's trying to get Palmer off the pitch. It is going to be Palmer off for fall. Posh for relegation. You heard it here first. Ooh, Kim. So we wasted an effective minute there, or it'll be added, I guess, as added time as Palmer fakes getting hurt. Or did he actually get hurt to force the sub? I'm going to have to look up the regulations on what happens if you put the time in wrong. Or sorry, not the time, the jersey number wrong on the slip, and assume that happens. We'll have to get the story. Anyway, Mullen's still on. Now with Fall. Revan on for Barney down the right side. Do we bring in Matty James for a couple of minutes and let him have an introduction in the midfield for somebody? Is that too dangerous in a 2-1 win? 2-1 lead? Hopefully I didn't jinx it. And thanks, Catherine. I think so too. I think I got 2 pretty cute kids. One with curly hair and one who got, unfortunately, my quaff. Mo Fall knocks it down. Tyrese collects it. Mo Fall steps into it, fights for it. It goes out. It's going to be a throw-in for Charlton. Probably the right decision. Oh, there are opportunities, but I'm still in the camp that we want Birmingham to beat everybody if we can. But the good news is when you take these points, hopefully, I won't jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. Don't look ahead. Charlton throw 18 yards out, 20 yards out. They'll move it down the line sufficiently enough to get it towards the 18, I would think. Edwards all the way over from his left back position to try and throw this one long, and here it comes. The Tozer bomb. Flung in, headed away. Cannon bounces around Tyrese, and now we got a break. 2-on-1. Mullen and Campbell. Cannon and Mullen. Cannon, give it to Mullen. He's wide open. Instead, he lays it up for Seb. Seb on the right-hand side. Seb looking for Cannon. Cannon over Lee. Chip for Fall. Can't get there. Not high enough, and Mo Fall was too far away. And his mass bounced forward, and we've got a free kick. And was that a handball? Because yeah, Mia in the corner saying Cannon should have given it to Mullen on the initially. Delayed perfectly, left the space, drew all the defenders over, and then just didn't make the pass. And Steven saying the same thing. Cannon not passing to Mullen, and what the hell? I miss what happened on the foul there, because they gave it at the spot where the only player that was there was a Charlton Athletic player, and he was going to ground, and I don't know if he knocked it down with his hand or what happened, but Seb with the entry trying to find Mo Fall's head, can't do it, and it's cleared away. Charlton with it. No, they're not. They give it away to Cleworth, who ends up getting run into, and Cleworth down. That's got to be a card. Yellow on Hilton. Max is down, holding his shins. Looks to be okay. Late challenge. Yeah, I'd be frustrated too, to be completely fair. Yellow to Hilton. At a time, I think there's going to be a fair amount. We had the substitution thing. We've had a couple of players down. It's not going to be 10 minutes, but it's going to probably be 5 or 6. I think we're okay, Stephen. I think we're okay. Just a yellow and maybe orange with the location of the studs, but at the end of the day, can't object to the yellow. And Cleworth gets it underway. Diagonal looking for Mo Fall, and it's going to be headed back, and it goes for a goal kick. Objecting to Mo Fall's contact was Mitchell, but not able to do anything with the header, even though the contact. Find out how many minutes we get here. Steven's already seen, and I don't know if that's a prediction or you're saying it's 5 minutes, the Hulk reference. 5 added minutes. Flicked up in the air. Mullen. Cannon able to grab the scrambly ball. It's kicked out. And we wait for the ball to come. Parkey's holding the ball, saying, somebody who's going to play it, and what are my lights doing here? Cleworth, halfway, throws it forward. Mo Fall at his feet, but he loses control. And Dobson steps in again with another interception. Andy Cannon scoops up over top. Revan with it. He's got Fall in the middle. He's got Mullen in the middle. Dancing, Reb, looking, crossing, bangs off his body, saves it, and keeps it in. I think that was the right call. I think it hit his legs and would have gone out for a goal kick, so he keeps it, and Seb's spinning as a top over up against Mitchell. Plays it towards Cannon, can't play it, and complains about getting jersey tugged, but yes, squeaky bum time indeed. To be fair, and I'm interested to see what the shots are on this half. And we'll look at that at the halftime. Well done by Dobson. Heads at it one away. Says I should get a free kick out of that one. Referee disagrees. And so Taylor throws it in. Long switch over to the right-hand side. Headed away by TOC. Advanced further by Lee. David Wood owning the emojis. Ogonko comes out and collects as that was advanced forward by Lieber, and Ogonko collects it. And yes, so far, indeed, one of the best road efforts I've seen since I've been watching them. Indeed. I'm trying to go back and try to remember a better one. Grimsby away. That was a 4-1 win, wasn't it? Swirly? That was a solid one. Definitely not peachy. A can of corn, Foster. Advances it further down. Mullen knocks it down heavy first touch, and it's collected by Gillespie. Gillespie bangs it off. Mullen gets the tackle out, so it goes out for a throw, and it's going to be collected, and Seb steps in front. Whoa, that's got to come all the way back. Whoa, referee lets him throw it about 10 yards further than it went out of play. And guess who is there to nick that ball away? Mr. Dobson. Oh, and it's just goes out of play. I thought that was dancing around the line, but it doesn't dance around the line. It just snuck out, and well done, Lino. And somebody's got to go and play it. 2 minutes left. Stephen, our eternal pessimist. I want to be angry, but he can't. Even Stephen can't be unhappy on this one. I hope there's not time for you yet, Stephen. Clueworth with it. Clean the ball. Take your time. A couple steps forward. Keep cleaning that ball. 5 seconds and 5 yards advanced. Mo Fall advances it forward. Mullen, that's a foul. Again, Paul Mullen, he just puts his head down and just is trying to run for the ball. He forces Mitchell holding on to him. It wasn't an immediate drop. It was, I'm going to work my rear off, and I'm going to make you give me a call. And he busts his hump, and he goes to ground, and we get one. Almost there. So close. Hold. How can I be mad at Cannon when he's the only one to find the back of the net for Wrexham? Indeed. Over to Revan, up against the line. Cannon fighting for it right along the line. Charlton able to get it. Blocked by Mullen. Does it stay in? It does. We went to ground. That was awkward. I think we just slipped and fell, and then they end up grabbing it. It's Tyrese Campbell down the left-hand side. Uh-oh. That's going to be a red. Nope, yellow. Woo, baby. Revan with the yellow, and I thought that was a goal-scoring opportunity, and Mitchell comes and gives Revan a point and a poke and a point and a poke. Holy. Wasn't close to the ball. On the break, and Revan scrapes in and drags him down by the feet. Anyway, it's still a dangerous opportunity here. 5-minute mark could be last chance, last gasp for Charlton. It's going to be a right-footed entry. Everybody's forward except for the keeper. Whistle blows. There it is. Far post. It's going. It's up. Headed down. It's knocked down. Penalty spot. I knew it. Fuck. Not controversial. It hit his hand. The question was he away from it? Handball. Mitchell and McLean are at it. His arm was by his side, but a little bit far away. The question here isn't whether it hit a handball or hit his hand. The question is whether it was an unnatural position. So it's going to be Mullen chatting to Ogonko, trying to see what he's going to do about it, and what the plan is. Is that Edmonds Green standing to the spot? It can't be him that's going to take it. Oh, I don't know. That's a joke. Now that I see it, Clueworth has his hand behind his hip, and he tries to chest it forward, but it hits his hand. Like, I don't know what he does in that situation. Well, 3 points or 1 point. Charlton looking to rescue it. Let's see what happens. Oh, I don't even want to watch. Scores. They rescue rescued it at the end, and McLean and Mitchell are meeting in the middle of the pitch. I don't want to see the celebration. I want to see the words. Mitchell doesn't go and celebrate his team. Instead, he runs and battles with McLean. Cut. Robbed. Oh, it's a handball, but was it at an unnatural position? That's the call. Straight through by Hilton. Ogonko goes to the right. It goes up over top. 2-2. I've always said that if anyone questions an arm being in a natural position should watch me sleep. So we are out of auto promotion. We've slid down unless we're able to get something here, and we're not. 1 point on the column, and you know what? As frustrating as that penalty was, you go away to Charlton and you take a point. That's not the worst outcome. It's going to feel like a loss in the way that it happened. Godden scores on the penalty. An exceptional effort. Exceptional effort by the boys. Can't complain about that. Brendan, what's your take on the... Oh, we're still... McLean and Mitchell are still at it. And TOC goes and watches it. Mitchell going and shaking hands. Parkey is talking to the referee, and he's giving it to him. I'm just going to stay silent here and watch this. Kim says the handball's fair. Parkey picks up a yellow for his efforts, but he got to say his piece. You think he moved his arm towards the ball? I thought he had it away and was moving his chest and missed it. Is it in a natural position? And usually what they count, and also as part of whether in a natural position, is what opportunity a player had to get it out of the way. That is to say, if it's a... Yeah, and so I guess from what the referee has to make a determination is on the base of the ball, base where his arm was, is does he have an opportunity to clear his hand from its position? And I guess what he's potentially saying, and this is I think what Kim would say, is if he had the opportunity to swing his hips towards it to try and knock it free, he had the opportunity to move his arm out of the way. Maybe is that what the judgment is? And thanks, John. And I'm with you at the end of the day. And I think you actually said it, John, was you'd give your arm to take a point away on this one. And so do we really complain? The team showed up. It was a great effort. We're now pissed off and we got to be in our bonnet. And, at the end of the year, when we look at if we needed 2 points to end up making promotion, do we come back to this call and we look at it? Maybe. I'm sure we're going to get some lucky calls as we go through where we're a little bit fortunate. But this time, the football god said, we're not going to give you 3 points today. And I don't see the movement towards the ball, John. I see his hip moving, and if the arm moved at all, it was a byproduct of the hip moving. To me, the question is could he got it out of the way? It is what it is. And I take your point. I'll watch it again on the replay afterwards, and we'll see where it's at. Frustrating is with Wickham's performance, that means they move up on the table. What I wanted to see was how many shots that they had in the second half. And so I can go here and go to the second half. Oh, interesting. It says they had more shots on target than us in the second half, and I didn't see that. So in any event, 7 shots on target for them, 2 for us. Expected goals, this is what you would have anticipated as an outcome. And, and maybe that's the football gods. The Coventry goal was an advantage to us, and we were fortunate to have it. They got the benefit of a call. So, and walking away from what was a very evenly matched battle, being a draw is good. And you go away to Charlton and you take it. I think for most people, when you saw this game on the schedule at the start, you'd say, I'll take a point. Brendan, watch it again. Okay, I will do. Have a good one. I don't know if the cheers all means you're leaving, but if you are, thank you for being here, John, as always. And we will see you next Saturday is the next one. Yes, or next Sunday for that one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's saying it's clear that intent in leaving that there so that it could be made contact, or that he actually moved it with intention to stop it. But yeah, I'm with you. And a shot on target, it becomes a big thing. I'll put it this way, as far as my understanding of how the rule is called, is if you were to advance Max 3 feet forward and have an absolute bullet, and his arm is in the same position, but he has zero opportunity to move it. The question of whether it's in a natural position is sort of made all in combination with the pace of the ball, and it hits his arm, and that penalty won't be given, because what's a defender to do? You're allowed to have your arm down by your side, right? It's also, when you were referencing players putting their hand behind their back to get it out of the way, that's if an opportunity that you see a shot is coming, that you try to avoid the contact, so that you avoid this decision, this question being asked of the official. In this instance, the question that the referee said ultimately answered the answer to the question is yes, he had the opportunity. Did he have the opportunity to move his hand out of the way, it being in a natural position, given either the attack that was coming and anticipated with the shot, or the pace of the ball coming forward? I think the only justification I can give to giving the penalty and taking off my Wrexham hat is we did have the opportunity, Max did, in sort of thrusting his hip to try and clear it away. I think that's because he thought that he was going to be able to make contact, but it didn't happen. The thought from that extension is, if he had the opportunity to do that, he had the opportunity to move his hand. I don't know. To me, it's a 50-50. Honestly, as I'm going through it in my head, I was frustrated at the start, and I went BS, and then you watch the highlights back, and I can see the question being asked. You're at home, you're in Charlton, you're the referee, you're getting screamed at. It's a 2-1 game that's very evenly played. You give it, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the, I don't know. Again, I don't know the rule well enough. To me, it doesn't seem like the most egregious give of a handball, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can see circumstances where it's called. I can see circumstances where it shouldn't have been called.
I feel very lucky that we weren't down 3-1 in the first half. So,
it was a much better half, wasn't it? I'm waiting for the replays on iFollow are just running through all of the goals, so I'm hoping to get another spot on the foul here, as we just see Charlton's first goal go in on iFollow on the Palmer clearance, and that was the header that went onto the far post. Are you bringing the stats up, or is that what we're going to first?
Yeah, I was waiting. I have the highlights playing.
And I don't know if your highlights necessarily match with our highlights, so I can't really.
I'm waiting for that handball. It's I'm watching on iFollow as well.
So this is all still first half stuff.
Yeah, they showed Lee's.
So it could be a while. Other than that, let's talk about our goal. The positives. I mean, 2 plays that I wanted to talk about. One was the Cannon goal. What did you see in that one? And then we'll talk about the breakout that Cannon and Mullen had, and what you would have done in that circumstance if you were playing FA on PlayStation. Do you recall those ones?
The thing is I didn't see the cannon goal well. I was like trying to configure stuff in the background, and the replays weren't great on that. I did see an overhead of cannon, so when the ball did get kicked out to him, he was coming in on that short angle, and it was a nice strong blast.
They just showed it on the replay here as I was watching it again. So it was Dobson ends up stealing and getting the interception, gets it up to Cannon, and it was gorgeous. Cannon's running forward, gets the pass to Mullen. Mullen able to get a swipe on the ball, right foot, and it's knocked away and deflects it exactly to Cannon, who still has work to do. And I think in the message of this is he's at a relatively tight angle, and he goes off of his left foot the other way with Mannion, who
with
knew it was going out wide and screaming over there with power, and finds it. So you have to give him the credit there.
Yeah. And that Mullen was going for goal. It looked like it ricocheted out, wasn't purposeful.
And then, I don't know, they just played the handball thing here again. I don't know. It's 50-50 to me. And that's legitimately trying to take my Wrexham bias and my hat off. If he had the time to shift his hips, he had the time to move his hand. I don't know. I also think that he had the time and thought it was going to get to his hip, and it didn't. So,
do you want the table or the?
Yeah, let's go to the stats, and we'll run that through, and then we'll have a look at the table, which I haven't looked at it yet. Maybe I should have. Maybe it's bad mojo for me not going to it. But if we go to the stats, the XG, slightly higher. I'm at full time. Certainly higher in the first. See, that's the fascinating thing. The first half, I thought we lost, and we actually had more XG to them. In the second half, I thought we won, and they have more XG. So as John's often says, who knows what you can tell from that? 19 shots, 14 shots for us, only 2 of them on target. Both teams had one big chance. Both teams missed it. As far as passes, they picked up the pace a lot in the second half, 315 up to our 235. So we only added about 110, I think it was, in the second half. Let's see if my math is right, 120. So that's why I'm a lawyer and not in the sciences. Fouls committed, almost even. Corners, they had 6 or 2. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to have to jump on this, Brendan.
Yeah. So I will take over while Sean's out. I'll continue on with the stats, and then we can talk about man of the match, Dave. Yeah, I mean, the shots, the passing, the defense, I think we look pretty good. I mean, I'm showing the stats here. There's nothing tremendously worth picking out. I do think it's funny that we have such low totals in passes most times. But I mean, that goes along with the fact that we're not holding
Brendan,
the ball.
are you still there?
I am. Can you not hear me?
No, I just got you back now. Sorry, I'm just going to have to deal with this as madness happens and people don't listen to me and they show up early at the property. And so I've got to deal with this. I assume you've gone through the stats. Feel free to take them to the table if you want to, and I will jump on as soon as I'm able.
All righty. I will switch over to the table and see what we're looking like here. So we could have pulled within 2 to Birmingham. Instead, we dropped into 3rd place on the table, 4 back of Birmingham's 29 and 1 back of Wickham, although we are ahead on goal difference, which is good. Followed by Mansfield, 1 point behind us at 24. And then we have 3 teams, Huddersfield, Reading, Barnsley at 22. Then Lincoln, Bolton, Exeter to finish up the top 10. And then there's Charlton, who we just faced. What else happened today that stands out? Huddersfield with the win, 2-0 over Exeter. Cambridge with another win. Is that 3 in a row for them? Where's Cambridge? Yes, 3 in a row for Cambridge. They were looking like they weren't going to win all year. And now that mantle gets passed to Burton Albion, who is without a win and obviously 5 losses in their last. So they're not even getting draws now. What else? We have Lincoln 2-1 over Stockport. lot of people like seeing that anytime Stockport loses, right? Northampton with a surprising 3-0, I think. I mean, it was against Crawley, but Northampton scoring 3 is pretty big. Rotherham 2-0 over Stevenage. I think that's a good result. I want to keep Stevenage down there. They have such a good defense. I think they're worrisome. Barnsley 2-0 over Shrewsbury. Not really a surprise. They Wickham 3-0 Leyton Orient, which didn't help us. And then we have Blackpool Wigan to come. And also there's a handful of games that will be played on Tuesday. So there will be some more shuffling around. This table will not look like this when we go to play again. We don't have a game Tuesday, and then next Sunday is not a league game against Harrogate. But myself and Deandra will be here tomorrow for the women's match, be the Wrexham women against Cardiff Met. And I believe the game is at home at the Rock.
It is at home at the Rock for that one. So it should be up on the for everybody to go, and you can hit the get notified when we put these ones up so that you get told that we're going to be here for sure. I know I've been putting them up late. I just wanted to talk about the table as you were going through it. The one thing that kind of hurts, two things that kind of hurt about the outcome today, and as far as the table is, we don't have another game in the league now until Mansfield, which is the following Sunday. So that'll make the Saturday interesting. I wonder if I will have an opportunity to cover a neutral game potentially on the second or not. But on November 3rd, I know I'm going to be solely on my own for the FA Cup match. But then the following Saturday, we've got Mansfield. And so we're going to be stuck with this being the table now until we get.
No, we have Tuesday is Lincoln and Northampton, Stevenage and Bolton, Stockport and Reading.
Okay, we'll have a look at it, and we'll maybe look for a poll and see what we can figure out here. As we've got Harrogate on Sunday away for the FA Cup, and then we go Saturday bright and early for Mansfield Town, which I may or may not be at, depending on how exhausted I am after moving a bunch of boxes and unpacking all day long and running around with the kids to see if I can get up at 4:30 in the morning for that one. If not, it'll be me solo on Sunday and Brendan solo on Saturday. But it's frustrating that it's going to be a 2-week time period. Like, we don't have another league match now until November 9th, and the table will sit this way. It would be very, very nice if we would have had that win, just for the fact that we'd be sitting in second. We'd be 2 points behind Birmingham, and we'd be well in control. And the other bad thing that sort of comes from this is, we've played the one extra game. Mansfield now only 1 point behind us with a game in hand. Reading only 3 points behind us with a game in hand. And although we've got them on goals difference, we're starting to talk about being as low as 6th here if we end up not getting results. And that's how quickly things can change when you end up going with a couple back-to-back draws. But that being said, we've known that this was a bit of a gauntlet that we're going to have to go through the whole way, right? So it is what it is. And yeah, Woody's saying the same thing now, out of the top two for a while till we get the Icelander going. And maybe there's the advantage is we've got some time in between games in the league competition that we can test. Well, I guess the FA Cup, you're going to go best foot forward. But yeah, brutal call in Woody's opinion. Feel like they lost 2 points rather than gained one. Yeah, I'm lukewarm on that decision. I don't know. We will be talking about it, and at the end of the season, circle this date on the calendar. And when we sit at the end of the year and go, man, where did we drop 1 point or 2 points, and what would the difference have been? I think you can come back to this game and look at that handball decision as that changed everything.
I would, by the way, I would guess both of the new guys probably get in against Harrogate.
I would assume.
Next Sunday, a week from Sunday.
Harrogate's an interesting beast, because we just haven't seemed to put our best foot forward against them last year in either of the league matches. 2-0 up and in control in Harrogate, and then they came back and scored. But we didn't look comfortable in that one. And so it's an interesting beast they are, because I wouldn't, and when you look at the track record as far as the record against them total, Yeah, they've been in it for a while, and competitive. So I don't know what to expect from them.
Chaos happening in the driver household.
It is. We're looking for something amidst a box of things, and
the thing is I'm trying to figure out like who they bring in, right? So Dobson hasn't had a break all season. It would be good to get him a rest, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's who they sit against Harrogate. I'm also thinking, you know, it would be tough to pull Palmer out for no reason, right?
Like, do you give Mo Fall the whole game?
I that's what I mean. Like Harrogate's your opportunity to get either the new guy or Fall in the game in Palmer's spot, right? I think you almost need to keep Mullen in for at least 65 minutes. He's got to get clicking better. I think he needs to feel better about himself. I think you got to give him every opportunity to do that. So I'm thinking he's not being pulled. Now would be a good time to actually rest McLean too. Why not give Revan the full time on the left?
Oh no, well, because I'm torn, right? It's the FA Cup. You put your best foot forward. To me, unlike the EFL Trophy for sure, and certainly the EFL Cup. If this was the EFL Cup, I mean, rely on our depth. I don't care.
We're not throwing Dalby out there. We're not throwing Bickerstaff out there. We're throwing
quality players, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if we can't sit McLean and Dobson and Palmer, then what are we? I don't know. I mean, I hear you. You want to make sure you go on, and you're thinking that's not the best foot, but I mean, I don't know. That should not be the difference in us winning and losing to Harrogate.
Yeah. Another interesting discussion piece that I'm curious about is the war of words that happened with Mitchell and McLean. I don't know if you were watching that. I thought that in most circumstances, when you have those two people, like our two players at all in football, squaring up and having an extended argument, that it could be anticipated you'd throw out the yellow cards. I'm wondering if the referee wisely used his better judgment against doing that, because Mitchell certainly deserved a yellow for his antics. They score a goal and his immediate response is turning around and run towards McLean.
So whether McLean said anything, right? Unless he said something about his kids or his wife or spat at him, he came over and two-hand shoved McLean pretty good. Once you start making it physical, and then McLean didn't come back, I would think that you have to give a yellow to the Charlton player. Like, people are going to be talking, but you can't go and start escalating it by laying
physically
pushing people. That's what he did, and he got away with it scot-free. Then he goes over and taunts afterwards.
Well, if that was hockey,
to give him a flag. I mean,
if that was hockey, that's a left foot on one shoulder pad, and the right hand starts rolling, right?
Yeah.
But obviously it's football. I'm wondering, and the reason why I wonder if the referee used discretion. McLean was on a yellow, and so if he would have given both players a yellow to say, "Hey, you two, mind your lip. If I'm going to give it to one, I'm going to give it to the other," and he throws the yellow out, then now we have a problem, because
what would you give it to McLean for talking crap? I mean, the other guy put his hands on him and then taunted him again. Have we
seen McLean get yellow for less?
He must talk a really great game. Although when I see him rolling like that, I would imagine it might be hard to understand what he's saying.
Well, and the other incident that Mitchell was involved in that even predated that one was Revan, who got the yellow, and I can't remember who it was that was screaming down the left wing for Charlton, but a late challenge, didn't get anywhere close to the ball, wiped out his feet. A clear yellow for Charlton on a break.
You were calling for the Revan one to potentially be a red, and
red.
There was a defender further back than Revan. Still,
so not quite a clear opportunity on goal in your eyes.
I mean, if it was wide open, no one between you and the goalie, yes, but we had a defender back. he just would have been left one-on-one. So Revan took the opportunity to take him down then, which made sense to me, which is done all the time. So, I mean, for me, there's no way that's a red. None.
I take that as being fair and discretion to end up determining that it was a clear goal scoring opportunity. It was also how clear it was as far as nowhere near the ball. You know, the studs weren't up, but it was late.
How different is that than when they legitimately grab a guy from behind and just rip him down? And that was done twice to Wrexham players today.
Yeah, I think it was because of the nature of the tackle and how far away he was from it. I think the question was asked. If I was to put it on scale, probably an orange card, definitely leading towards the yellow. But I could have, if a red would have gone, I would have been disappointed, frustrated. But I think the question probably would have triggered at least as should this one have been.
Because it's a tackle and he could get hurt. Like, you seem to be okay when the guy doesn't go for the ball and they grab his shirt and rip him and throw him down. That isn't to the same level as a blatant slide tackle of the legs from behind, not going for the ball. You put those on different levels?
I put them on different levels between the grabbing. I mean, there's certainly other characteristics you have to, and you already identified it as far as whether there's a free shot on goal.
Yeah, that
comes from the grab. But in this circumstance, do I have it different as far as a tackle into the legs, nowhere close to the ball? Yes, I consider that differently. So I don't think it should have been red, but I think the question would have been asked on that one. But what the reason why I brought up the point was, what happened immediately after that is clearly my youngest is not happy. What happened after that? Mitchell runs over and starts shoving the hell out of Revan, and that just can't happen. It just can't. And so I thought that he might have deserved a yellow at that instance. And so I'm surprised out of anything that happened in the game. The one big surprise is Mitchell walked out of that one scot free. Not a yellow.
To be fair, we've been given our defense a lot of flowers for most of the season, deservedly so. But there were mistakes all throughout the back. TOC made two really bad mistakes on a clearance, on a pass to nobody that got them coming the other way that they almost scored on. He didn't play his guy right, and they had a blast that just happened to miss the goal, went up over the goal, that could have easily resulted right there. And Max was out of position twice on when Charlton was trying to make a move down his side and someone else had to block it for him. Then he finally got back and got like the second deflection in. He definitely seemed a little out of sorts, which is understandable. It's been a while since he's back, and maybe he also got a little dinged up on that boot to the shin more than him just acting. So, it's not like he doesn't have a good reason to, but we always talk about how excellent he is, and you could just pencil Max in for the man of the match. And TOC's been incredible, especially with his service and all the defense he's been playing. And they both were making mistakes throughout the match that could have resulted in goals. We didn't play a perfect game, at least not defensively.
Man of the match, I didn't put in. I guess you have to have Cannon as the goal scorer. Dobson, I think, had himself a cracker. Who else do we put in there? Ogonko had himself a couple of important saves.
Dobson probably had the best overall game, but like you pointed out, that angle that Cannon shoots with, his off foot with power, and I think he nutmegs the goalie from that angle. That's like really impressive to come off the bench and drill it.
I'm just trying to think here. To me, it's those three. I'm going to start the poll with those three. I'm torn between. Jason just said Scar. Had I not seen that, Jason, I would have put him in. But I'll put Cannon and Dobson. To me, it's between those two. I'm with you. Cannon had the miraculous. There was two exceptional tackles that Dobson made, plus the interception that led to the Cannon goal. So I'd probably go Dobson, I think. But we'll see what everybody thinks there. Comment to the match. I don't even know which ones to even pick. Do we go with Deandra? Can you imagine assist a pigeon? A note are on our goal, and no pigeon was harmed in the making of this lead. Do I go with David? Has a ref ever been booked for time wasting? I'm asking for a friend. or the emoji nuts hammer. And John
David's
with
one or the nuts hammer for me.
Yeah, nuts hammer. And then the other, and John brought the tech end to Charlton. And I guess those are probably the ones. I'll put those ones in afterwards, or if people want to put in the comments what their comments were, and I've got to go through my chicken scratch at a later date and actually make the graphics, because I said don't lose track of that during the season, and now I'm way behind as a consequence of everything that's happened. Tomorrow, you're on with Deandra, the women's match. Cardiff met. A fascinating story. Cardiff met 6-time champions. They've won as many times as Cardiff City, the Adran Premier League, but they just haven't been in the mix recently. And Wrexham, sort of late minute goals being the kicker, is it for the girls? Yeah, and so we're sitting at 3 points, but I don't think that's necessarily deserving of how well they've been playing. At least that's what I've been getting from the games that I've been able to watch on replay. Would you assume that that's a fair assessment?
I don't know. Deandra and I are a lot rougher on them. We don't have we could stand your Canadian balance to take the edge off. We think that. We haven't been happy with them. We haven't been happy with the continually changing lineup. We thought the lineups early on were part of the reason why we got off to a bad start. Some of those teams that were at the bottom have got a lot better. Swansea and Cardiff don't seem like they got better, maybe regressed a little. And we're just not. We look like we got some really good talent that we also brought in, but we're just not. We don't have the right combination and the right level of effort and play at the moment. So we haven't been happy with the team, especially the coaching. Well,
we'll see how that transpires. I mean, it's an interesting match because we're getting close to the halfway point of the first half of the season, if that makes sense. Because
you got to get into that top four, and we're not.
Yeah, we're 3 points out and 7 points behind. That if you want to end up finding a pathway, 3 points, the gulf between 10 and 6 is far more manageable than the gulf between having a team ahead of you at 6 points and you sitting at 3 points. Then you start looking down rather than looking up. And so I'm going to wrap up the man of the match one here so we can do the comment of the match and then probably wrap up, as I've got a lot to do, including finding something in the house, apparently. So that'll be a fun exercise to take part in. So let's wrap that up, as it looks like Dobson's pretty much the clear winner on that one, even though there's the 2 Scar write-ins. So my apologies for not including them in it. And why didn't it give me the tally? Start a poll. Comment of the match. And so your options are, for those of you who are still lingering with us, the comment from David that was, has a ref ever been booked for time wasting? We'll do nuts hammer. I can't put the emojis in here, so I'll put in brackets nuts hammer, referencing obviously the, and that's from David, referencing obviously the pommel and groin contact last game and his immediate goal thereafter. Which one from Deandra? Can you imagine assist a pigeon or no pigeon was harmed in the making of this lead? Both are good. Let's go. Can you imagine a pigeon? Not a lot of people still here. And the last one, 2 write-ins would have put Scar into the middle, but Dobson will put him at 75%. And then John brought the tech end to Charlton. Going to be a long trip home for those guys, because that's kind of a one that's going to sit in your mouth poorly, which I guess going into Harrogate and then having Mansfield, a frustrating tie is a lot better than a frustrating loss, and so I'll take that. But yes, that moves us to what 2-3-1, I think, for the season, which isn't the best, but it's certainly not the worst. Allowing 2 goals probably going to hurt. We were, I think, the best in the league at our goals against away. So we'll move up a little bit there, but largely good performances. So we'll put that one there as the poll and see what people end up saying on that one. I'm probably going to go with Nuts Hammer myself. And I think, Brendan, that's where you're going to. Hitchcock jinxed us. I'm worried if I jinxed us because I sort of thought this one had lined ourselves up into being 3 points, barring something crazy happen, and then obviously handball. And
you realize that was scored in the 96th plus
96 minute. Like there was no time after that. You just
were
played
more than a minute 40 over when the score goes in. So
yeah,
past the 5-minute extra time.
And I don't know if you can be concerned with a 2-3-1 record. I think, Foster, the contrast to that is I take that as a positive. We're taking care of business against the bottom of the table. That's what you want. And the top of the table isn't a free run. And that's 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss against the top of the table. That to me is exceptional. We've only lost 1 game against the top, and that was to Birmingham. The rest we've at least taken points at home or away. I think that's a great record. I mean, not great, but that's positive. I would spin that as, things. Yes, we had a draw here, and yes, we've had 2 draws in a row. But if you were to look at that and say Rotherham away, Charlton away, Huddersfield at home, what are you getting out of that? You're coming out of it with a win, 2 draws, and no loss. I shrug my shoulders and say that's okay. That's good. I mean, not blissful, but as we've been talking early, we're in the midst of a run here, right? We've got Mansfield up, then we've got Stockport, which, and I think that one's away, where our last performance there was a 5-1 drubbing. And then after that, we've got Exeter City, who are no slouches, Lincoln City, who's near the top, Barnsley, who's up sniffing around, and then we go through December, where it gets a little bit easy. Burton, and I say easy just comparative to the table and where the teams are at, but Burton away would be an expected 3 points. Cambridge United at home would certainly be an expected 3 points. Bristol Rovers, I think you'd be looking at 3 points. Blackpool, I think you'd be looking to get all 3 points, right? Wigan, who's on a bit of a downward trajectory, 3 wins, 4 draws, and five losses. I think the fact that you're taking them on at home, you'd expect 3 points. And so December is where we make hay. So I'm hoping that we can stick in, tie a knot in the rope, and hold on. I'm probably going to have to blast off soon. So do you have any parting thoughts as we let the final votes come in on the comment of the match?
No, just it's going to be a tough 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, it'll be nice to have the Harrogate game, but early in a tournament doesn't do it for me, right? It's like if it was later in the tournament, then I'd care a little bit more about the game.
Sure.
So really, I'll be focused on the Mansfield game, and that's 2 weeks from now. So,
yeah, no, I get that. Tomorrow, Deandra and Brendan bringing you the women's match. I will see everybody on next Sunday for the. I didn't check the kickoff time on that one. Oh, so 7:30 start, 3:30
10 o'clock. Oh yeah, 7 your time, 10
7:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10:30 out on the East Coast. That would make it a 3:30 start out over there. I don't know whether I'll pick up an FA Cup game for fun. Probably not, because I'm going to have too much to do and I need a full day. So it'll be the Mansfield match Saturday and an early start, 4:30 out on the West Coast, 7:30 out on the East Coast. Brendan will be there for sure. I hopefully will appear.
No. This will be Sean while I'm starting the show.
I'll probably leak in the 70th minute and wipe my eyes and be like, "Are we doing? Yeah. What's going on?" And then we get back into a dead rubber football league trophy match against Port Vale, where the only thing that's in question is who's first and who's second, and whether you get a home game
Yeah.
Both Port Vale and Wrexham are in that, so I don't think it matters. And then we finish off the teeth of things. Stockport away on the Saturday, Exeter City on the Tuesday, Lincoln City on the Saturday, and then we'll march on from there. Thank you to everybody, if you were watching this over on Twitch and you were watching this over on X, jump over to YouTube before you go, youtube.com/@the-red-horde, and hit the subscribe button there so you can get the notification. You can take part in the chats in the next one. To everybody who's joined us and subscribed, much thanks and appreciation and much love to you. It's been amazing to build this little community, 57 countries and counting. To Deandra, Brendan, W and G for holding down the fort and contributing to things from the start, essentially. Much appreciation to you guys as always, and to everybody who's formed the community. Thank you to our sponsor, Ultimate Promotions. Ultimate Promotions are at ultimatepromotions.biz, ultipromo.com. You can find them on Google. Go ahead and do that. They make these pins, pressed, soft enamel, hard enamel, the metals. The other thing I forgot to mention is somebody asked, and I had a question as to where can you get the accumulation of yellow card and those statistics. Google fbref.com. Here, I'll type it out, fbref.com. And then from there, search for Wrexham or League One. And when you find Wrexham, you'll see card yellow, and it'll have all the goal scorer, how many minutes they've been playing, all of the assists, how they're scoring, goals and assists per game. Jack Marriott leading the way at 0.67 per game. Clueworth second at 0.5. Maybe we run a trivia game one time and end up bringing up some interesting stats to see if people who can pull the right answer. I might do that. Let me do that while I'm on here. I just want to test this. I'm going to end this. So Nuts Hammer gets the comment from David Wood. And I'm going to do one more thing. Engage with the audience. Start a Q&A.
Yeah. See you later, Woody and Jason.
See you, Woody. Yep. Have a good one. See if anybody can get this one. Who has the second most assists on the team? And start the Q&A and see how that lines up. Oh, it lines up with a second set of questions. So I probably won't do that during the game. Good thing I tested it now. All right. All right. We're going to wrap up. Brendan, thank you so much for everything. We'll sign out for this one. To everybody for joining, we appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you Sunday, either tomorrow for the women's match or the next Sunday for the FA Cup match against Harrogate. Have a wonderful weekend. A 1-1 draw, put 1 point on the board. It's over. Cheers.